Cool, I just need a motion for secret ballots.
I will move that we do secret ballots.
Secret ballots. Any questions on the motion? Let's vote on the motion. All in favor? Okay. All of them?
Mr. Pepper, do you want to just share this screen for now, or do you want me to pull something up? There are attendees on Zoom.
Just the one that has all of us? Is it
Okay.
showing mine?
No, it's just the cameras right now. Do we want motions, or I don't know what you guys want at this point in time. So, sure.
Okay, I was just keeping this so here. Just doing.
Yeah. So, opening the floor for nominations. For my position, for the Reeve Chief Elected Official. I'll nominate Councillor Zinsky. We've got a nomination for Councillor Zinsky by Councillor Reeve.
Oh, it's so.
I'll nominate Terry as Reeve. Walks up.
Are there any additional nominations?
Okay.
For the third and final time? Nope.
I'm going to mention the nominations. Thank you. The first name is fine. First name,
Yeah.
last name.
Just your first. What's up? I can move anybody else.
We still need to vote for that, just for the thing. To cease nominations. All in favor? Okay.
Everyone, you want me to?
I'll start from this side.
Okay,
Sorry. I'll start from this side. Whenever you're ready. Three to four, and Terry Ungarian is the CEO. I think, but I haven't done this for a while. We might have to have a motion to store the ballots. Does that sound right?
If there's no dispute from council on that one, can I get a motion to destroy the ballot? Well, council, please, yeah. And then I'm handing over the people to the motion. Oh, sorry, all in favor of the motion? And then I'm handing over the meeting to Reeve Hungarian. Congratulations.
You're heard, thanks. Council. So we can move on down to 2.2, selection and appointment of a deputy chief elected official, otherwise known as a deputy reeve. So I'll open the floor for nominations.
Nominate
Pardon me,
I will nominate Brenda for the deputy.
Okay. you accept.
Oh, sorry.
Any, any other nominations? Deputies? Chief elected official? I'll nominate Councillor Chug. Would you accept?
Sure.
Okay, counts, third and final call for nominations. See none, so I'll ask for motion to cease nominations for Deputy Reeve. Councillor Halibisky, all in favor? Carried. You got 7 more pieces of paper?
Yep. Who made the motion to destroy the ballot?
That was, okay.
And it's all over.
Sworn in. 4-3, Brenda Yuzinski is the deputy chief elected official.
Move the council.
Nothing, nothing changed. And we'll get a motion to destroy those ballots, or do we need a motion for that?
I would think so. Almost.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Okay, Councillor Beckman moves, all in favor? Carried. Okay, 2.3, this is the long sheet that everybody's got, appoint our annual appointment to the boards and committees. So we'll just go through them and maybe some that we could delete. So,
If I can maybe have
yeah,
just a quick turn. So we got an email from the Alberta Pond Hockey Association. And since we are a contributor to the Pond Hockey, they asked if we want a representative on their board. They actually asked very politely that we do offer somebody because they are struggling to find people to sit on that board. So if we could, I would like to have that one added to the
Yep.
to the list.
so we'll put that at the end, because it's in addition. Okay, page 1, the Ag Service Board. Intermunicipal Weed and Pest Appeal Board, so since our council is all members of the board, then we're all on that appeal board. The default, the Community Rail Advocacy Alliance. I've been on that since its inception, and I'm willing to stay on if nobody else does. Good with that? Okay. The Mercer PAC, the Public Advisory Council, Gary, Brenda's been alternate. Gary, want to continue with that? Sure. Brenda, you would be alternate?
No.
Okay, page 2, FCSS, Brent's done that forever. We'll continue.
One more year.
Maybe it's later, you don't know. The Grimshaw Aquifer, Gary, Gary on with that? Sure. Okay. The Grimshaw Regional Health Care Attraction Retention Committee. It's been Brenda with an alternate being Kayla. Still good with that?
The first one?
I mean, it should be somebody from the Sullivan boards. I don't know if that's specified or not, but, and then the Manning Attraction Committee, it's been myself, and Brent has been the alternate. I'm fine to carry on. I've been chairing that committee actually, but somebody else want to take a run at it or? No? No. Okay, I'm good to stay with that. Page 3, impact piece river. So Gloria, you've been on that. You'll continue. You guys been meeting regular or I'm not even familiar with this
I
one.
have not.
Well, and China's gone now, she's not in that role anymore, so maybe that's changed.
You might have to check that out, but I can stay on it for sure.
So let's put an asterisk beside that one to follow up and see if there's still
Yeah, I haven't, I attended a couple of meetings and that nothing.
Yeah, I know kind of got like a promotion, so she's not in that role anymore, so maybe that's just a communication miss.
yeah, so if they're, make sure that there's still an organization that
Mhm.
David Long Lake Management, Brenda and Kaylin, Brenda will continue with that, Kaylin will continue as alternate.
Works well.
The Manning Area Food Bank, which is another new one, Gloria, will carry, continue, okay. Seed cleaning plant, that's been myself and Gloria as an alternate, anybody else wants to step up, I'm fine, they meet very infrequently. Usually kind of the night before, let's have a meeting tomorrow, whatever. So I can continue, but Manning Sports Center Association, and myself, and Mike is an alternate. It meet fairly regularly.
I'll stay on.
Alternate. Okay. Manning Municipal Library, Gloria. Okay. We'll carry on. Who's in the library here, by the way?
Alan Johnson. He's,
Oh, okay.
she's doing awesome.
And I always wonder when somebody steps down, who's gonna replace them when they.
Yeah, she's. It's up there.
Another new one here is a mental health and addiction task force. Caitlin was passionate about. You will carry on with it. And Brent is an alternate.
Yeah.
Mighty Peace Tourism, Brenda.
If anyone else wants that. But I'll stay on.
You'll stay on it. Anybody else? Okay. The Mighty Peace Watershed Alliance, Brent, with Gary as an alternate. This is another one that doesn't meet very regular.
Very often, okay. I'll stay
I'll
on.
stay on it. Yeah, NEL, so that's by default, it's myself and Gerhard. And they only meet, right, so it's twice a year, it's, you know, I guess. Doesn't even seem that often. The para, Gary and myself, Gary on, yes, I would. If I can stay as alternate, I've only ever had to pinch hit once in the years. And North Peace Housing, this is a big one, Kaylin.
Yep, I'd like to keep it, please.
The Northern Sunrise County Rural Crime Watch Committee, so Kaylin is on that as well.
Yeah.
No,
Do
continue.
that one, yeah.
The NWSAR, myself and Linda, alternate being Brent. We would gladly continue that, Linda. Yeah,
Well, it's the closest one for me to go to, it seems like. Every other one is, everybody else has silence. Like,
okay. And Brent, you'll stay as alternate.
It hasn't been very demanding for me since I've end up reading.
I know that's tough because we've been meeting and you're kind of,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been up north, so I mean, that's fine.
well, actually, with the world of Zoom, now we've had a few Zoom meetings, but still. Okay. The Peace River Aboriginal Interagency, Brenda and Linda, continue, Linda. Next page, the Peace River Healthcare Attraction Recruitment Committee has been Gary, Brenda is alternate, will continue, Gary. Sure. I think that makes sense that somebody in the south does that. Well, it does say Southern Warren, so. And then the Peace River PAC, the advisory committee, Kaylin with Brenda is alternate.
Yeah, keep that one.
Okay. Peace Library System, Linda, you sit on the executive there now, don't you?
Yes, yeah.
You want to carry on with
I
that?
can, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody else.
No, I think you got your feet pretty wet there, so you might as well carry on. Prita, Gary. Yeah, I'll stay. And Brenda is alternate. NTAB, which is kind of a, another arm of pre almost, you guys kind of meet at the same time usually.
Yeah, usually, yeah.
So you'll carry on with NTAB as
Yeah.
well. VSI, it's been myself, and Gary is alternate, I'm willing to step back from that and let Gary have a term on it, if you would be okay with that, Gary, or?
Yep.
I think as a cattle producer, and then we generally have their AGMs, one meeting a year. Typically, that's always the peace river, so.
Yeah.
So in case we'll make that change then, well, and I'll stay as alternate for you. Unless somebody else wants to be alternate, but. Okay. Next page, Ag Service Board, and again, that's all of council, so there's no decisions there. Bursary Committee, last year it was Linda and Gloria. You guys want to do it again? Yeah.
Really hard.
Okay, the rec board, which is something I think is gonna be up for review sometime in the next year here, but right now the north is Linda and the south is Brenda. And the alternate service to their Brent and Taylor. You'll continue Brenda on the south
Yeah. let's do it.
and Linda on the north. Okay. The Regional Economic Development Board, which I don't know. Is there still such a thing, Josh, or?
It is, this is how we're operating for the rural renewal stream. So it is still required and viable, and the intent of it was to explore other economic development initiatives specific to the town of Manning area of our community, so.
Yeah, well, I'll stay on it. I mean, that's, I think we have one meeting with the chamber, how we're gonna restructure some stuff.
And then, like, we run technically through this board, like the small business alerts and things, but that's all
Right.
administratively.
Yeah, it's pretty
Easy
easy.
for now, yeah.
That's it on for now.
No news.
Okay, and then the next page, Emergency Management Advisory Committee, all of council. And the CEO and the Director of Emergency Management, so that's. And then the next one, Joint Emergency Management. And that's, there's no elected people on that, right? That's on our list. And then the Manning Rural Fire Protection and Area Advisory Committee, it's been myself and Gloria. It's gotta be somebody from the North Wards. There's like 6 and 7.
On that one there. Myself, I'm still wondering about who is really looking after Cape River. You know, is it Manning or is it how about when there's a fire or whatever?
So that would be. I guess
Think
the
the
town,
town.
yeah, I mean, we can bring that up at the next meeting, which isn't probably gonna be till the new year now, but. I would think that the CEO from the town would have an answer. They define those boundaries between municipalities. You know, like Peace River comes up to north of Dixonville, Manning goes there, and I'm sure that Kid River. Is covered by Manning, but that is a kind of crossover area.
This is just for the fire services we talking specifically. I think it's the town of Manning's fire department that goes up to up to Cape River. I think the reason why high level got involved in the beginning of the year was because it was a fire that was actually in the
Yeah.
Green zone.
in the green zone,
Yeah,
and
they
they were
used to.
contracted out by the forestry.
Over the welfare.
We used to have it for high level and then for some reason we took it out. Now it's supposed to be. Yeah. We never really checked into that. That's all I'm asking.
I know the agreements have. Specific boundaries, but that mutual aid can cross
Yeah.
those boundaries, right? So. I mean, high level's not gonna leave,
No, they're not gonna leave us in the.
so that's not our area, we're not gonna go, right, but maybe you could clarify that, I'll take the lead with Rodney and whoever's looking after that level now. So anyway, I'll stay on, Gloria, you'll stay on that?
Yeah.
Okay. In the Peace River Rural Fire Protection Area. Have Gary and Brent in the CEO. Do you guys meet?
We were supposed to have a meeting last December or something like that, and then it got canceled and
never did happen.
never did nothing after that, so.
It seems to me I've heard that before, not just that one, but other times that they tried to the meeting because I think that committee involved in be a piece, the town, maybe even more than Sunrise, I don't know, but try to get everybody, like,
I've never had one, but
yeah,
I haven't either.
but you guys will stay on in the chance there is one.
Yes,
I mean, they do cover part of your ward, right?
Right, just on the previous one for the fire services, I'm looking at the map. And Barrow, it's up to that area for the Barrow Prairie, so it's definitely done by the Manning Fire Department.
Up to that.
Up to, yeah, excluding Barrow Prairie. And including Cockatoo there.
So there you go, that's the way the agreement is, right?
That's what they're doing.
Joint council, that's full councils and the CEO, so the next page. Municipal Planning Commission, full council again. IDPs and ICFs. So there's several of them, so the one with Peace River, it was myself and Brenda and the CEO. And that's probably gonna be up for discussion again, because it's gonna be expiring, right, so. I would be good on staying on it again, but I don't, maybe we wanna have a change. Have some different views on it, but I'm willing to stay on if anybody else wants to. For the ICF, and Brenda, how about yourself?
I will see.
I mean, we got a bit of history there, all right?
Yeah.
Those have to be Reeve and deputy.
I was gonna say there's set up in the agreement, right?
It says right on there, right? Yeah. And I'm talking, we never had a appointed an alternate, always, so Brent was the alternate. Yeah. The Brent, you'd stay as alternate, or-
yes,
and then, the IDP, which I don't know how often is that to be reviewed. The same thing, it's Reeve deputy, so it's the same. It's kind of by default, it'd be myself and Brenda. That, and then the Don Manning, it's ICF. Well, that's what it hasn't been. It's been me and Brenda.
But that's the
do it.
subcommittee, that's the task force.
Task force. Oh, this, the one below.
Yeah, so I guess that's,
I'm not sure that that first one is really required
you
anymore.
know, it seems kind of
It's
strange.
just in the agreement.
Yeah.
That's what the agreement states. That we will need.
You know, it is,
Yeah, predominantly just to make things more efficient, you'll meet as a subcommittee, so it's fewer of you and negotiate things and bring back recommendations to your councils. The councils have to approve everything, so.
Because we'll leave it the way it is, I guess it works.
And it's Reeve and deputy Reeve anyway, and then management facilities.
And then the Tom Manning IDP, which is full council. Next page, so the ones with the other municipalities. The Clear Hills, myself and Caitlin, but we never actually met with them. Yeah, I think our ICFs are so. There's not much in them really, so they're kind of a copy paste thing and sign them.
I think if there's no changes, then
We should review them. I haven't had a reason to look at these ones recently, but we should look and just make sure there's not a mandated.
You know,
Number of times that we are supposed to meet, even if that meeting is. Virtual or an email that says we've reviewed and we have no proposed changes, should still be
I
saying
think the
something.
last time, like with, it was kind of CEO to CEO, they kind of changed notes down, there's nothing's changed and then bring it back to council. So. Myself and Caitlin with Clear Hills, Gary and Brenda with Northern Sunrise. And a full council for MD of Peace. If we can't meet for myself and Brenda and Mackenzie, myself and Linda. And we never met with them. We did meet with MD of Peace. So we can leave those all the same if everybody's fine with that. I mean, that's all gonna be renewals and it'll sound like we're starting from square one. Peace Regional Subdivision Development Appeal Board. Appointed member, So I'm on the assessment appeal board, but I don't know the subdivision, we appoint somebody at large.
This is the one that we had to send her for training, right? She had to go for training and get training to sit on there, right? Our member at large,
You know, that,
right?
do we not currently have anybody then?
Thanks, Lisa.
Robin? Yeah, she just got in last year, I think, but I think she had to take some training for it.
You have to
You
have
need to
training.
play- play
Yeah.
about that.
So she's a resident of our county then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ward 2.
Okay, so that's covered in the assessment review board. I took the training for that. A refresher?
Well, not just a refresher, I just wanted to confirm that she did it.
Oh, for
I think,
Lisa.
I anticipate you're gonna have a.
She's gonna have to. So on the assessment one, I mean, there's a pool of members, right, and they don't necessarily, even though I'm appointed, I'm not necessarily, I only ever had a call once and I was conflicted with something else and never went. And I would actually like to see how long my training is valid for. 2 weeks. Yeah. That must be close to expiring, I mean, I don't know if you have to just do a quick refresher to keep it or. Because it was a fairly thorough film course, it was a solid week there. So I guess I'm trained up, I'll stay on there. Thanks so much.
We need to add and talk about the Pond Coffee Association.
Well, plus with the Regional Energy Committee, Peace Area Council. On that last page, these ones, these are. Those are, that's it. This Peace Area Council, was that the name we gave that group that we had full councils? I don't know if that's even a thing anymore now. It's not up to us to say it isn't. But you know, we can keep it there because it's full councils and I guess if we meet again, we can decide where we're heading. The Regional Energy Committee, with our terms of reference or our motion, I guess, specified would be the Reeve Deputy CEO and Teresa Executive Assistant was doing the clerical work. And then North Peace Housing, if you was, okay, just a note there that those boards act independently.
I just have a question, that Peace Area Council, that's when we all met and came up with the Regional Energy Committee.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't we still have the Peace Area Committee?
No, it's still there. Yeah, no, it's still there. It's
Just a question, is
To me,
the
that's a
town of
separate-
Grimsby for sure on that one?
they weren't originally though. So just to note that, put in their North Peace Housing and Peace Library System, because that's always been maybe not quite clear, but they operate independently from council. So Kevin and Linda, you guys will know that. Alberta Care. Okay, membership. Yeah, just a note too, in the North Border Coalition.
That's fine.
That's to be on the community enhancement.
Yeah, they keep bringing that one up.
I've got one too, if we want, if we're interested, so let's deal with the first one. First was, here, the
Yeah, so that's for the about the pond hockey. They meet in the winter months or the colder months, necessarily winter months. 5 to 6 meetings per year from October to April. About 2 hours, and they want one representative from our council.
I would be interested in that one just because it's close enough to me, but. And I usually volunteer, so.
It's that is a big regional event too, so
It is-
probably
it is a
a good
huge
thing, I think.
It's the region on the map for sure, so I think it's very nice that they invited us to sit on the committee and came and graciously volunteered, so.
They do awesome things.
I did see some of the other emails from some of the other counties and. They're not interested, so to send representation, so I think it's really good that we do, and I agree with Josh, it's such a.
Well, it's
And I think It ties in good too, that Brenda said on the tourism one, because then that ties into it too, and then there's lots of self-representation.
I mean, it's almost intercompany, but it's not quite, it's a piece, but it's right there, right, so. That'll be a lot of our, okay, and then, this town and Manny community enhancement thing,
I would say.
okay, so.
Are we adding?
Yeah, let's catch up here. And Gloria said she would volunteer to sit on that one. So. I guess one representative on that is more than enough, right? So. Nobody else is interested
I wouldn't mind,
on that planning community enhancement one?
I'll be the alternate. I don't know, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm not on too much leaving.
It really, it's a reason why both could both need to. So we'll put, Gloria and Linda as an alternate. Okay, any other boards or committees that we might have overlooked?
Well, this was the self-record, who's, Jenny Swanson is the secretary. I think you know the mailing address practice.
Will Trinity have it probably
Yeah.
online? I'll just.
We're all, it's all updated on our.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you go to any of these committee or board meetings and there's change in the contacts and stuff, just, you know, let somebody know, right?
you said, did you want to?
Oh, sure.
618-64.
Six one eight.
61. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get a motion to adopt the 24-25 boards and committees list and include as a part of our org meeting. Councillor Fees, all in favor? Carried. Item 3.0, planning authority arrangement, which need any changes in? Josh? Do we need a motion just to,
Yeah, I think we need
okay,
the other draft motion up there, yeah. With no changes, though, it makes it easy, so.
okay, just need a motion to confirm the authorities as those listed there.
Oh,
Okay, Councillor Chuck, all in favor? Carried. Item 4.0, regular meeting schedule for 2025. There's an attached number there, so. And then the summer meetings will be open. Probably in May or June. Better idea. Put the council one each month over the summer. So any comments on the calendar?
Just so that you know, when I redid it, I actually included the holiday closure for Christmas. You'll see that that is actually on our council agenda later for 2024. So for 2025, I actually just put it on the calendar because it's the exact same 2 days. Just so that if you don't want to, you don't have to, but Monday and Tuesday are not considered holidays, they're actually work days. But, Christmas is a statutory holiday. The 26th is Boxing Day, so statutory holiday. The 24th, it would, suggested by administration to use that as your floater day. And so if council is going to continue allowing that week off for, the employees are like closing the office. I actually just put it in your 2025 calendar that, you would close Monday and Tuesday, the 22nd and the 23rd. Just so that there is, people know it's pre-scheduled, but that's totally up to you if you want to do that or
That'll
not.
come up with a regular.
Well, yeah, this is 2025, but it's going to have the same request for 2024 because the days work out the same.
Yeah.
But yes, so I did add that. That's different than previous years.
Okay, so adopting this calendar the way it is, and I will be including.
Yes.
I like that it's pretty. Yeah,
Okay, somebody want to make that motion to adopt the calendar?
Um,
Okay, Councilor Sinski, all in favor? Carried. So with that. Nothing else, item 4.0, I will adjourn the board meeting at 9:37. Do a couple of items to the break. And a little bit. We'll call a regular meeting to order. 9:37. And I'd just like to do a brief land acknowledgement that we acknowledge Indigenous people and the ancestors whose lands we now share. And we move on to the agenda 3.0. Oh, no. Yeah, 2.0 the agenda. So there is some additions. One, our calendar. We don't meet now until the 12th, right, of November. So have we had any requests from any of the legions for Remembrance Day yet?
No.
So I think I'd like to add that to the agenda. And we can just delegate people to lay a wreath at the 3 legions we support. And if they don't get an invitation, then we just, but we should probably be prepared for that, because I don't remember a year when they haven't.
I've been attending, Manning, continue to attend, whether we have an invitation or not. I don't charge for it.
But we'll put it on the agenda and just. You haven't seen anything I heard from any of the legions from Grimshaw, East River, and Manning about I guess it is a bit early yet, but we don't meet until after that, so.
Actually, did never requested. This is better. I'm sorry. I should remember that. That was something she did.
Or she reached out to them.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, she always did that, so I'll be reminded to.
we pay for a week.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, and then we need to.
Any other additions?
Yes, I have an addition. I'd like to make a personal disclosure in regards to an organization that I belong to.
In camera or?
No, it's public.
Okay.
Organization. The organization.
Anything else? Well, then with the additions?
Yeah.
Okay. Councillor Obisky moves to adopt the agenda with the additions, all in favor? Carried. Now, we can go to the minutes of our previous meeting. Any discussion arising? Seeing none, get a motion to acknowledge receipt of the minutes. Councillor Deccan, all in favor? Carried. Our delegations are all this afternoon. So we can move down to 5.0, proposed bylaw establishing speed limits for municipal roads. So we have, Charles is online there.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys all hear me good?
Yeah, we can.
Perfect. So, as we discussed previously, there was a request to have the speed limit lowered in Dixonville. There was a lot of people speeding through town. They've approached the Minister of Transportation for the highway portion. And we kind of discussed that it would be reasonable to lower the streets that we have control over. And thinking on that, and myself went through the speed limit bylaw and realized that, well, we have the same kind of complaints in lots of our hamlets. So I have adjusted the speed limits for Dixonville, North Star, Notikewin, Aspen Grove Estate, Paradise Acres, Bear Creek Estates, Sweetwater Estates, and Kalina Flats, as well as Northridge Estates. Those are all areas that are residential. They have the likelihood of being able to get up to 50 kilometers an hour is unlikely. So just adjusted it there. If there's any comments or you guys want to see any changes, by all means, let me know. Other than that, the rest of it remains the same.
All right, so some questions on council? Yep, go ahead, Linda.
I'm just trying to figure out the one in Cape River on Township 1014. Says 50, is that just the one off the bridge, between the bridge?
Yes.
It's not gonna, they can still do their 80 on the rest of the road, right?
Yeah, it's just for that small section.
Okay, so that's from the bridge, and I wanna make sure that's what we're talking about, because it goes south, and I'm trying to figure out more.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's from the bridge.
Okay, so it's just the bridge, okay.
Yep. And that's just because of the condition of the bridge, Linda.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. And they're also a sign there too that they have to wait for someone else on that bridge.
Yeah. And that's why it's not 80 through the whole thing.
Yeah, okay.
You're clear on
I
that
don't
one?
think so. I hope
Yeah.
so.
So these all have to be posted then, Charles, or if we're changing them, or just?
Yeah, we'll do some sign changes. More than likely get social media involved on it, just to bring light to it. The one thing, just in case anyone's curious, I didn't change Deadwood. The reason for that is the only real street in Deadwood is the highway, and we have no control over that speed limit. So I didn't see it logical to change it. But if you guys would like to see it change to 30, I can do that as well.
I'm fine with it.
Leave it at 50. Okay, doesn't seem to be any need to change it from council, so we can leave that one alone and then make the changes on the rest. So, any further questions on these?
I've got one question. Charles, do we need a public hearing on this?
That's a good question for Mrs. Tupper. I don't think we do.
She just referred me to you.
Oh. No, I don't believe we do because we have control of the roads. So we can,
Regardless, you may want to, if we haven't advertised this already, just not do all 3 readings and advertise it as proposed. For maybe a week or 2, probably be safe.
So not necessarily a public hearing, but just, bring
Yeah,
awareness.
at least then you've given people a chance to see that you're proposing, because it's quite broad reaching as far as speed limits go, right?
We just give it first reading and
Yeah, and then,
So it'd be a tricky one to advertise, because it's kind of big, but we'll figure it out.
advertise.
communicate or,
Public hearing. Advertise for a couple of.
Well, just just a live up.
just,
Oh, just the one.
Yeah.
just inform. Yeah, there you go.
yeah, we can,
Time to see if we need a public hearing. I don't think we do either, but
I don't think we do, but I think it's a great idea to just maybe have to talk
Bring awareness,
Yeah.
at least for 2 weeks.
do you want to put that in there time?
Yeah, and it actually, Mr. rightly said, it actually is part of our public participation, which is really very thing that.
So in the motion, we're gonna advertise newspaper account, and county social media, do you want to put for how long, like? Put a
we'll
time,
bring
put
it back.
an end date on it?
So the next meeting.
There's 3 weeks in between your meetings, so
Yeah, so we'll
just
just
run it.
until November,
next
it's
meeting.
gonna be 12. Okay,
I'll make the first.
Councilor Cynthia gives first reading. With the advertising thing, all in favor? It's carried. Thanks, Charles.
thanks, council.
We'll talk to you a bit here. So we can move down to 6.0 and 6.1.1A. Meeting opportunity with the commanding officer. And that just reminded me, that's what I was gonna add to the agenda, but it's not, doesn't really have to be an agenda item. Because we got an invitation from the National Police Federation to just have a quick get together at RMA. Because we're gonna be bringing one of their resolutions forward, right? So that's just gonna be an informal coffee. So anyway, the commanding officer has given us invitation, so we never have met with them at RMA. I'm not saying that we can't, if there's something burning that we want to meet with them about, or just get to know them, but it's a pretty packed few days already, so I have nothing to meet with them for, but if somebody else would like to accept their invitation, otherwise we just accept this invitation for information.
I think that the rural crime watch and the RCMP advisory, we have pretty good communication going back and forth, so I don't really see a burning issue to make that time either. Like, I think that we have a pretty good, through our committee groups, have a pretty good communication going, so.
I'll move to accept it.
Okay, Councilor Reese makes a motion to acknowledge invitation, except for information, all in favor? It's carried. Item B, the Northern Alberta Medical Program, otherwise known as NALP. So, I don't know if everybody's aware of it, but University of Alberta is partnering with Northwest Polytechnic, formerly called Grand Prairie Regional College, to create a medical program to basically going to start graduating physicians out of there. So more seats, they're doing the same in Lethbridge. So more seats should equal more physicians eventually, and grow your own, kind of make it more attractive for local people to go to med school. They don't have to move away so far. So they came up and met with our committee. I don't know if they met with Grimshaw and Peace River, and very interested in our communities, because they would use the rural hospitals and clinics as part of their preceptorship or training, I guess, and they thought that Manning would be a great fit for, I mean, it would only be one at a time, but and probably be the same with Peace River and possibly Grimshaw, but So anyway, they're having an open house or kind of an information session in Grand Prairie. It's already this week, Jesus.
Thursday, that's.
Well, time goes, I thought that was a long ways away, but it's already on Thursday, so I would go. If council thought it was any value, because I think it's all part of our attracting attention. They're really looking for municipal support for this program, even though it's going to be centered in Grand Prairie, it's going to reach out to all the region.
I think it'd be good if you went, we do have one person from the truck meeting,
Stacy.
Stacy.
What piece of committee anybody on that?
I'm not sure, if they have someone going, I can't. Deal for previously booked, so, this. Couple on there, or a couple set should be enough, I think. Sure.
Okay, well, somebody want to make that
Make
motion?
that motion.
Councillor Decker moves it, so we do the. Yeah. All in favor? It's carried. Item C is the annual Christmas social. What do you got there, Spirit? That was kind of the last communication that was, do we, instead of having just our target.
Yeah, they wanted
Council,
to,
maybe include each other.
they wanted to include the other two municipalities as well, but I think in the end they decided to just do this one, and then there's another vote out to see whatever is a good time to have.
Okay.
The 5-1, even if it's early next year for the 5 council. So the date for the one with Northern Sunrise County and the India Trees is December the 2nd. Just in the motion that comes up in again.
So with that kind of poll, is that all, that was the date that everybody kind of landed on?
No, that is a separate poll. That's to include Peace River and Grimshaw for an additional one, which is probably going to be an early year kickoff meeting.
No, but for the trial one, December 2nd is.
That's the one that suited everyone.
Okay. I didn't realize we landed on a date. Okay, any questions on that? So basically, we're looking to have a motion to acknowledge receipt of the Christmas social, and we'll attend on December 2nd in Berlin, right?
That's great.
Any questions? Do we need to give attendance numbers or not?
I need to get the minutes.
We can probably. We can probably, but I was afraid you have to give numbers in October. Can we wait till our November meeting and kind of maybe people have a better idea what they're doing then?
No problem to do that.
I don't think that they need that much advance notice, right?
It's not like we have 200 people in.
Yes.
Any of these things have gone to, they've had more than enough food to. If everybody showed up, we'd still be good. Okay, so we'll make a note to put that on the future agenda, get confirmed in attendance. And get a motion now to acknowledge this invitation. And Gary, Councillor Thies, all in favor? It's carried.
Let's mark it in the calendar though, right?
Yeah.
Time is that maybe? Maybe evening anyway. Okay, first edition is the Remembrance Day ceremonies will be upcoming. November 11th, so typically the three legions always, we always support them by purchasing a wreath and laying it, so. I've attended Manning, Brent's attended Manning, so.
And I will be attending to.
You'll be attending too, so I guess we can. How about Grimshaw? I went to Grimshaw last year, because you guys weren't available, so they have a big ceremony there. Kayla, you available or?
Yeah, I've gone in the past too, so if anybody else wants to, we can both go.
And then case server, get ready to pick what you think or?
I think
I could go to the meeting for a Grinch.
Start the Grinch shop.
And Lipinski. Grimshaw, and you got that wrong, we're sending council system from to Grimshaw. Yep. And then Gary over the East River. And you'll have contact numbers for Gary to go over all his legions and.
Yes, I'll take care of that.
Can't make the road and rumors I'm not included.
That's always.
You can come. You wanna come to them?
No, it's okay. If I wanna come, I'll come on my own.
Okay, all in favor? It's carried. Okay, then we'll do our last edition and take a break, Councillor disclosure of an advocacy organization.
Yeah, so I belong to a group, it's called Common Sense Alberta. And it's an advocacy group, and stated goals of it are to reduce corruption, promote accountability, and potentially save taxpayers billions. So a lot of people are appalled that a company like S&C Lavalin, Atkins Realis is looking to establish itself here and get its hands on public money. And we may see ads from this organization educating the public, and I just wanted to get it out there that I'm a member of this. I don't want you to find it out on the street, and any information that I have that's public, I will be providing to this organization. And I don't, at this point, I don't see a conflict in what doing that council and my membership, but I did want to disclose this. I want to be upfront about what I'm doing. And this company that Energy Alberta's proposal here, the company that will benefit most is, according to the World Bank, is the most crooked engineering company in the world. They've been banned from more projects by the World Bank than any other company, including US companies. And their criminal activities in Canada are well documented. So I just wanted to get that out there, what I've been doing. And so again, so you don't find out secondhand.
Okay, so what's the name?
Common Sense Alberta.
So your views as a member of this organization are your personal views, not as a council, not representing council?
That's right. I don't represent council in this group. I'm a private member. Anything that this group puts out to the public is voted on. I'm only one vote among many. Just like any member of council belonging to a political organization. There's not a conflict, right? So I just wanted you to hear it from me instead of hearing it secondhand on the street.
Yeah, no, that's a wise disclosure, so thank you.
Okay.
So do I make a motion to acknowledge the verbal report from Councillor Reese and Councillor Thies, all in favor? Carried. Okay, let's take a little break. Carried. Find it close enough. Okay.
Okay.
All right, we can go back to 6.1.2 administration, item A, the CAO report. Jared, do you want to run through that?
Yes, so I went to the RPAP conference in the city of, what is town?
Big town.
Big town of Wainwright. I went to the army base there as well. They gave me a RPG to put on the shoulder and I hit it.
a tag, so that was quite fun, but from the session that we got there, Gary and I think it's an amazing, and council can really take a bow, and you guys are doing really well to welcome people into the community, and especially the medical community. So what they told us there, what people should do, you guys are already doing, so that's really good to see. Then I had a meeting with April from the town of Manning. We discussed some of the items that was listed on the recycling. They did confirm that they are not just throwing it on the dump, they actually are recycling it in Grand Prairie. The letter of support, there was some confusion still from her on that one. They still deliberating what would be the best option for them. Should the people still turn here at 7th Ave or not? Go to 10th Ave? I'm still waiting for that one. That was part of the request that we can actually advocate when we meet with the Minister of Transportation, which I haven't had anything back, and we did say that was minor.
So just to be clear, so that where they propose to build that, extend the service road further south to 7th Avenue, that's what they're advocating for again? Like,
It's to extend the service road further north.
Yeah.
10th Avenue.
but yeah, because we'd have to, I mean, and the problem with that last time was they had to get land from the landowner on the corner, and he wasn't in agreement to it, so they just said, well, that's the end of it then. And
Yeah.
so they kind of like that idea to
We'll try again at the transportation to see if they can get, especially now that the land's for sale, maybe we will sell it for them.
yeah, just wanted to be clear what they are actually.
And then on the splash park upgrade, she confirmed they did not and are not going to get 3 quotes. They're going to use the one that they're currently using or what they used before, and to do the change over there. They do need a deposit of, I think it's $16,000, if not mistaken, and it would be obviously mean that we have to pay $8,000 this year on that one, but that's it. We'll catch up on that a little bit later on. The Zamboni, I don't know, it was only a 2016, so it's only 8 years old. That's still a fairly new one. Apparently they did fix the problem they had with it, and that's still good for the next 5 to 10 years. So that's a good save. There's still a capital plan, and they want still included in that the Rosary School Road, and there's options. There's 3 options between 12 and 100K. We'll have a discussion on that one. And then the high school gym, if anybody wants to see the files, they're in my office, a big box of files and a roll of plans. So it is there. And we'll probably have a meeting soon to discuss the next steps with that specific.
So moving back to item 1, then the recycling, so they are telling us that they're truly recycling, which is good. And slow down the cynical with that, but anyway, that's not in our current ICF then, so whatever that is, we should be paying our portion of that, right? Because it's well known that county residents use those bins.
We also included the ICF in the in-camera section as well. I think yeah, we did. So if we can leave that till then, I would
Okay, no, I just know that,
the numbers.
well, yeah, now that we know that they are recycling and not, because the thought was if it was just going to a landfill, then we should probably look at doing something different, use the local man disposals and.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, on number 5, the Rosary School Road, did you mention to her about that outfit that we seen?
I gave a copy of the.
Okay, so at AUMA conference, there's the training show, there's a company that works out of San Ludo, I think, somewhere. in
Innisfail Innisfail, I think it was.
Okay.
It was south of, south of it.
Okay, anyway, they do a lot of work up in Mackenzie County for them, and it's an alternate to asphalt, and it's sort of like asphalt when we're done.
I did get that old backfit to it.
Okay, so they should explore that, and when those guys come by, have a look at that street, and so and we can do that for a fraction of the cost, right? And,
Yeah.
but that's good that you gave her that information, then, so.
And the last one on my report is that I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but we're coming up to the 30-year anniversary on the April Fool's Day next year. And I need some creative people around the room to give us an idea of what and how you guys gonna celebrate that, because I think it's worthwhile celebrating 30 years.
So that's always that date of anniversary, because that's just the date when it became a county or became a municipal district. Because I mean, we've been a
It's your
municipality for a long time.
incorporation.
Right,
Yeah, your incorporation. So before you were
ID,
an ID.
right,
D and then an MD.
and then,
The MD is an incorporation.
right, so the county is just a change in name.
Yeah, change of name. Yeah.
So I mean, some of these other municipalities like Fairview and can't remember who else, they had 100-year anniversaries, but they must go back to their ID days or whatever.
Yeah, they,
Because we've been an ID for a lot longer than 30 years. We've been a municipality for a lot longer than 30 years, I guess is what I'm saying.
I don't know, I would have to research the difference. All I know is the incorporation part and become independent like that is 30.
So you haven't been a municipality for more than 30 years. You've been a municipality for 30 years.
So
The ID is just an extension of the provincial government. So you were part of the province just with a boundary and a segmented budget.
Brent, you have a comment?
Yeah, I was gonna say that we were, prior to this, we were approved with this.
So we're not really a municipality.
So when you celebrate this, though, like from my end, you're now self-governing and represented from people within your community, which is the biggest difference. So it is a good thing. It's hard to communicate that to people, but it is good in that sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, people have been paying property taxes for a lot longer.
Yeah.
But the services were mostly provided by the provincial government at that time, right? And we have the ID collected them and they graded the roads, they fixed the bridges, they did just about everything, right? Okay, so you're looking for somebody to come up with some.
creative ideas.
would you like a committee or what's your thought?
And council just throw out ideas and have. I see Trinity's online, so I think it should be a good organizer or something if we give her ideas.
Yeah.
You don't need them.
I didn't need a motion, I just
I
come up with some ideas, please.
Between now and.
What about having like a open house, barbecue or something?
Yeah.
But, something in the north and then something in the south. Don't you?
What we need to do.
Unless we just want one thing, but
Well,
we
yeah.
find it's hard to get people. Going over directions.
Just have to be aware of April 1st, that still could be in winter yet, right, so we may have to plan something indoors.
Towards the
Little bit
end,
later.
still in the month.
You
The
can
shop
use
that,
municipal.
you know, like, we had in the shop that could probably work.
Like here,
Yeah.
and in the south, pick some place there,
Yeah,
in Dixonville shop or.
well, I just wanted, like,
Get some concrete work done first.
We could look at what municipal day is. I can't remember what date it is, but it might be a few weeks later. We've never really celebrated anything on that day.
It's such a day.
I just wanted to give you guys some time to think it over because it would have to be included in the budget if you plan something
Yep.
big. And if you want swag, just kind of think about what that is and give us some time to.
Horses with trick drivers.
Yeah.
Bands and.
As far as swag, like what about like a postcard with all the stats on the population, miles of road?
Like an infographic.
Like an info. I don't. Just information about the county, but probably a lot of people don't know.
So from now till budget meeting, please think hard about that, so we can include that.
Yeah, like even in the early new year, but still good lead time to organize. Don't leave it till March the 20th or something like that.
It will probably be a lot cheaper to do swag after Christmas, in any case.
Black Friday. Okay, any questions for the CEO report? No, seeing none, I'll give motion to accept the information. Councillor Reese, all in favor? Carried. Thanks, Gerard. We move down to our addition, finance, item A. Josh, you got an update for us?
I do, I just gotta find the additions. It's left on Zoom anyway, except Charles, so he can just deal with it. So just kind of the last minute one, predominantly, I just wanted to give you guys an update, because I didn't have time to bring you a budget report, so just to highlight the grant funds that are left remaining in case there was any requests. So that was there for your info. Have to be intentionally vague on the next one, but I thought council might just be interested. It's the first time that I understand this has happened, but we had a WCB decision for one of our a past claim that was rejected, actually get all the way to the highest level of appeal. So what that is WCB makes those decisions, and they decided based on all the evidence provided that one of our former employees who had applied for a claim through WCB was denied. So it gets denied by just an admin person, then can't remember what the next term is, and then ultimately you can challenge it all the way up to appeals commission. So I attended that. It was a long-winded meeting that took an entire morning. They had IT problems, which I had to fix before we could get going, so thought that was kind of comical. And now we are just waiting like anything else when they're at an appeal. They have so long to write on a decision. So important for you guys to know, because the repercussions are, if it ends up being awarded, it will ultimately impact our WCB premium rate. And when you are a participating employer who has so many claims, your rate deteriorates, and we actually do not have a very favorable WCB rate, unfortunately.
Can you tell us what's left in the grant? Sorry, I don't see that.
It's on the report. It's 17,000 last sentence there. So
I didn't see the report.
it was an addition.
We only got the survey as part of the addition.
No, your invitations that were sent out Monday afternoon.
I didn't get an email Monday afternoon. I got an email edition
Well,
this
thank you
morning
for telling
for the survey.
Yeah, and that's the only thing on the
But-
additions that I could find.
Yeah, that's all.
I don't have anything from Monday.
Maybe it's left my draft. Well, I'll open it up here just.
There's not a whole lot left anyway. It's,
Not that
so
it's
it's
big, yeah.
17,000 in your miscellaneous grants that's left.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's about it for the appeal hearing. And just so council's aware, like, we're unbiased in those types of things because it's not really our decision or our legislation. So I attended that hearing simply to answer questions. It was weird because they treat it like a hearing, so they're like, okay, you can have your arguments now. It's like, I don't really have any arguments. You guys make the
We
decision.
don't want to pay more premium.
Yeah, no, but at the same time, you're speaking with an employee and a representative. Like, we're not taking a position for that. If WCB doesn't think it's fair under their legislation, that's their prerogative. If not, we deal with it. It's being brought to you solely for awareness, right? It is a potential increase way down the line, but. And then the last one, and it's mostly good news this time, so I thought I was actually gonna have a bank reconciliation for you guys today from our new system. And we got all the way through and it's applied, but the report doesn't make sense to where I'm comfortable to bring it to you guys, so they're working on fixing that now. It would just be, it's actually super confusing. So I've had a couple arguments with them now about what a bank reconciliation report is supposed to show. And what theirs does show. So work in progress, but we are progressing.
But they agreed with you though that your changes that will do
Yes, but
reluctantly.
that's a better comment to have 6 months ago, not now, because I didn't realize that at first, so. Anyways, we're working forward on it. We've had a few staff members have weekly meetings with them just to kind of tick off a bunch of the last minor issues that we've been having. So we are now actually probably as of next week gonna transfer over from this go live team that's essentially been with us from day one to just a normal support as needed system. So that's a big thing. Took a long while to get there, but it looks like that's gonna be the case, so. And my hair didn't fall out. There's a few more gray ones in my beard, but a few more wrinkle lines on my eyes, but other than that, we're good. And I forgot this was double-sided, so I do have one more. You guys may have seen this already as well, but RMA sent out a little note, so I'm assuming it went to everyone in their distribution list about their annual insurance renewals. So I had done all of the application packages that they make us do every year. And then they advise, well, you're gonna see increases. Probably isn't a surprise to anybody. You see it in your personal lives too, as I'm sure, so.
The surprise to me is the 20% in property. That's why it's so significant.
Well, if you're a property owner here, that wouldn't surprise you, just simply because the value of the properties are going up, so. At the end of the day, in the inflationary world that we live in right now, it's not surprising because the costs of those things are increasing, so.
Well, plus I think when you have huge property losses like Jasper, for example,
Yeah,
that impacts everybody, right?
yeah, and we went through this before with Fort Mac and High River, and so it ultimately impacts everybody. I don't like to point fingers to that because I don't like that personally, but there are benefits and drawbacks to pooled things. That is the drawback, is when you have significant losses that are kind of isolated, everybody contributes in some fashion, right? But how very socialistic of our society is. So there we are. Anyways, it's not a huge budget item. Like, we're paying roughly about 155,000 is what our budgeted amount is every year for insurance premiums. So it's just for your info.
Okay, thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
Any questions? Got a motion to accept the report?
Hello.
Councillor Trump, all in favor? It's carried. Page 2. the agenda. Charles, are you still with us?
I'm still here.
Okay, it's time for item 6.3.1, the Director of Public Works report.
Yeah, so re-gravel, obviously we're having some weather setbacks and some hauling issues with farmers going to change gears and go back to the farms instead of hauling gravel for us. So that presented a bit of a problem. But we're getting through it. Should be done, hopefully, knock on wood, end of the month. Request for proposals. Seems how I'm not having to run around much right now. I have time to knock off some of these low-hanging fruit RFPs that we need to get out here. We have Greater Beats expiring here February at 2025. So those will go out in probably January, early January. Calcium as well, as you're aware, has we need to reissue that RFP as we are at the end of our contract with Tiger. Oh, and I missed one, engineering for crushing in Gillis Pit. That the reason we're going with an engineer on that is because it's a fairly environmentally sensitive area, and they can pull all the environmental stuff together and put all the tender paperwork together and ensure not to miss anything. Transportation crews, as of Friday, we put in our last culverts, hopefully, unless there's an emergency one that needs to be done. And we are getting prepared for the winter season. That being said, we did have a slight issue here with our plow truck for the north. There's a power module for the blade is completely shot, and we're working on getting some quotes, but it's looking like a complete change. So that being said, that's going to be a fairly hefty repair bill in the tune of probably $25,000, just so you're aware of that. And finally, we had some complaints from some residents a couple of day, that the water quality from the treatment plant in Manning was not ideal. However, we've been assured by the town that the water is perfectly safe. It just has a bit of a smell to it. So I haven't noticed it too much at my place, but others have brought it up, so just wanted everybody to be aware of that.
So Charles, on that, I understand that there's one resident that has gone as far as to say he's not gonna pay his bill when he gets it. Have you heard your supervisor? So,
Yeah,
so council is aware, with everything that we have, they will get a bill and we cannot do anything about that. And really, like, I don't know, like Charles said, he didn't notice it. I can't
I
tell
didn't
at
notice it.
all
Did you
at
do it?
my house,
I didn't notice it.
so I,
It could be something internal, maybe, I don't know.
but. What that means is somebody is gonna phone us when they get their bill and be not happy, and they're gonna be told, it's your bill, you pay it or we'll shut your water off. And they will probably reach out to you guys. I don't know who it was. I didn't get a name, so could be any one of you, or ultimately end up in council. I just want you to be prepared for that.
That's odd that the water treatment plant, I thought they could make good water out of anything just about, I mean, within limits, but the East Reservoir, is it that bad that they couldn't handle it, or? Like I said,
Yeah,
that's-
just the quality of the water. It's old. It's kind of a duck pond, for lack of better words.
So when they get it cleared like they did in Cape River, I mean, that's what we had to do. With our reservoir, there,
yeah, did you want to clean it?
they cleaned it,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
good.
a couple
Seen
of
it.
years ago. Came out that clean it.
Yeah. it's-
I think they- believe they do a bit of cleaning, but I think it's been a while.
Why do you think you would get it clean?
I don't know, we seen yesterday, they're, Apple Prairie, they're hauling out of bore pits along the highway and putting it in their reservoir, and that water's gotta be as old as that highway is, right? So I don't know what their water treatment plant capability is, but anyway, see, I never experienced it, Lorraine never, Josh never, Charles never, so it seems strange that one resident would, or maybe there was more, multiple.
Well, yeah, we had multiple calls. Apparently there was 2 or 3 calls coming into our utility supervisor every day. And then and even at the office, apparently it wasn't ideal. It was had a smell to it. So
I gotta say, that's not as bad.
No.
at the end of the day, water's perfectly fine even if you do smell a little bit of oddness to it, I guess. So just so you guys are aware.
They switched back to the west one, so it should clear up eventually if it hasn't already.
Yeah, that's what it sounded
Any
like.
questions? Any further questions for Charles? I've got a couple of questions here.
So Charles, it's Brenda. I had a request for some spot gravel on Chinook Valley Road. I was just wondering if that's gonna happen. soon.
Yeah, it should have, I believe it's already happened. He being our South Transportation Supervisor, had reached out, and I believe I'm almost positive it's been dealt with, Brenda. Because he was reaching out to the gentleman that takes care of the maintenance on that road for Eagle. And I believe it all got dealt with.
Fresh gravel anywhere.
Yeah, because they were doing a fairly large spot gravel haul here at the end of the end of the season.
Okay. Okay, as long as it's happening.
Yeah, no, it's everyone's well aware of it.
Okay, Caleb?
Hey, Charles, I just had couple calls and complaints about the guys doing the transmission pole line repairs at the end of Chinook Valley on the south end.
Okay.
And like especially down 851 and stuff too, they're like pulling their equipment into the side of the road, unloading their heavy equipment, going down into like swamp area to do transmission pole changes, and they're like trashing the roads pretty bad. Have they like reached out, or do they have an agreement? It's not AGCO, it starts with a V.
Yeah, so they're likely doing the work on behalf of ADCO. So they reach out to us every single time they want to change a fuse on one of these poles. They reach out to us,
Okay,
which is good, to an extent. So these our response to them is that we from a public works standpoint is that as long as there's no public works concerns, they're not planning on putting a pole in the middle of the road type thing. And that any road damage is on them to repair. So I can definitely reach out and see what's going on with that. And
yeah, I think maybe we should have the South Cruise, go take a gander. I mean, it's worse now because it's froze, so all the ruts and everything they pushed into the shoulder of the road and down into the ditch are like rock solid right now. It was one of the drivers that was complaining because she's got a pole to the side of the road to pick up at a couple of driveways along that stretch, and it's just like rutted to no end. So maybe if they could take a gander and take a look, that would be cool. I can email you the specific spots if you'd like.
yeah, 100% if you could. I was just making a note here for myself, and we will look into it.
Perfect, thank you.
No problem.
Anything else?
So when we get complaints like that, do we not tell them to call the office, right?
Yeah, I have, it's just my due diligence, because I know sometimes you tell them to do it and they don't, so.
Okay, no other questions for Charles? Get a motion to acknowledge his report and accept for information. Councillor Halabiski, all in favor? It's carried. We have another 15 minutes before our MPC meeting, so we'll move down to 6.6.2, community service. Item A is growing the North sponsorship request.
Yes, so we received an email from a new person, I believe, with this. So historically, council has supported it. I think we've been a silver sponsor for quite some time now. That comes with more perks than we've typically taken advantage of, because it comes with, I think, 2 free tickets and a booth in the foyer, which surprised us the first year, and then I think we've shared it with NWSAR maybe and permitted them to use it just because we don't really have anything unless council is gonna tell me otherwise to go and promote there in the foyer.
Yeah, so we do.
So other than that, though, we have carried this forward in the economic development budget, so the money is there. Just bringing it to you guys, it's been some time, so just making sure that's still what you want, and or the alternative is we can just buy tickets and send whoever wants to go. I don't even think they had a, oh yeah, they just like package system.
I'd like to see us keep sponsoring it. I'm okay with the silver level.
I think it's good.
It's a great conference. The only complaint I always have is it's more geared to Grand Prairie, but I mean, they do try to broaden the region out for the north, and you know, they're not trampling on us by any means, but yeah. Here to make that motion, Caitlin?
Sure.
Councillor Schultz moves to acknowledge receipt of this request and sponsor at the silver level again.
So with that though, if we are gonna do that, do you want me to just tell them that we don't want the table, or do you guys actually want something set up, or? This one is not an ideal time to have me go. It's typically when our auditors are here, or just after when I have a pile of work to do, so I would prefer to not attend again.
I mean, if we had some pamphlets or rack cards or something, we could lay on the table with our banner, but other than that, I don't see the point of, you know, having somebody stand there all day long.
More do I.
Those postcards that Brendan was talking about would be ideal.
Can we maybe reach out to one of our boards that's not on the list, that if they're interested, in para or any of those wants to do?
Well, I can either cool. Sure, you know,
Well, they
Fair
can,
might be a
they
cool
can,
one.
they can.
yeah.
You maybe want to take that to your next para meeting and just ask them if they'd be interested in,
But
I think that would be cool.
Probably won't be busy on the farm in February.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I'm thinking too, right? Like it's kind of a bit of a downtime for them too.
Okay, well, that's, I don't know, they need that answer,
Well, we get it with the sponsorship, I just
yeah, but I mean. do we have to
figured
tell
if we weren't gonna use it, we'd give them a heads up so they could try and repurpose it or space it accordingly, but.
The way, I mean, you've been there and I've been there a few times and that you've got the whole,
Boy, it's a huge room.
there's lots of room there, so if we're gonna put up a little. Card table or somewhere, it's not gonna be an issue when the time comes, so. Okay, so Councillor Shuck has made that motion, all in favor? Carried. Next one is survey results for North Star Outdoor Rink. Who wants to speak on that?
Well, that'll be me again, and Trin is on if he wants to chime in if I miss anything, but. So council should all have a package, I think, that they got physically, so. We did get some responses to the online survey. It's good, I think, a couple were dropped off in person and Trin entered them, and then one or two were submitted online. So I mean, if council recalls, we made a motion just to kind of seek some input on what the residents of the hamlet would like to see. You look through, it's kind of a mixed bag, but the majority of it is no value, could probably be replaced with something else, and then kind of, no. I mean, the hamlet is a small population base to begin with, but. Yeah. So really from this, we're just looking for you guys to read the comments. And then if there's a clear direction on what you guys would like to give us to do.
So there wasn't a whole bunch of intake into the survey, looks like.
Well, that's 3 different owners of about 27, so we have this argument, but it's depending on how you look at it. Percentage wise, I guess that's better than most of our surveys. And I mean, it's awesome that there was 3 people that took the time to do it.
Well, I agree with that.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, though, the demographic of that hamlet has changed, and I mean, the state of repair of that rink is not ideal. So it's reinvest for probably no benefit, or take the time and the money to just change it into something else.
Would it be very hard to just turn it into grass? Like to.
Charles, is that something your guys' crew can probably do, to just tear that all out? And I believe we've chatted about that.
Yeah, so the millings would have to come out ideally. As there is gravel roads in North Star, we could repurpose those millings on the streets, reduce dust for the residents. So that would be a positive thing. And once that's out of there, I mean, probably take a little bit of time to get some grass growing, but I wouldn't see why or how we couldn't. We just have to seed it like crazy and try to maintain it as best we can. But I do think it is possible to turn it back to grass.
And then you're left with an awfully big green space in the hamlet of North Star, which I guess probably not a bad thing.
Just more
And a
grass
tiny
going,
little playground.
more grass going for whoever does that.
Yeah, but at least it'll just be a rectangular lot, so one of the easier things they have to know.
So you'd like a decision from council then what we're gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's feasible that it's gonna happen this year now. Charles is gonna jump on me on that one too. It definitely won't be seeded to grass this year.
Oh, yeah, it probably won't get done this year, probably likely in the spring.
Yeah,
And as Trin just commented, we will have to extend the fence.
thank you, Trin. So yeah, if we wanted to extend the fence though as well, that would be a cost. I don't know what the cost would be yet. Or whether or not it's totally required, but with the playground right now is fenced. So we have the supplies. We have enough fencing to do that whole lot, Trin, is that what you're telling me? Council can't see your chat, so.
Yeah, no, so we only have just the section of fence that meets up to the outdoor rink that we need to finish enclosing in. So it's not the entire playground, there's like 60 feet or so
Yeah.
that we would
But
need to
is
extend.
And so through your, and forgive me for the lack of knowledge of the appropriate legislation, but in your playground rule book, does it say it has to be fully contained with a fence?
Not necessarily, that just leaves a bigger gap for things like people on quad skidoos or vehicles to kind of get in already. Or to be able to access. So that's, if I remember correctly, Charles did say we have some fencing supplies in stock or would be added onto the next order.
Yeah, it's just a chain link fence anyway, there's.
Yeah, we do. I don't know if it's the same, but it wouldn't be too hard or expensive to order it.
And those old rink boards, are they salvageable that somebody, first come, first serve, if they wanted to make a backyard rink, or are they gonna be?
Depends how careful we were taking them out, I would say, like they're, I think the boards are fine, it's just. It's a ground and a sloping issue there predominantly.
It just would be a shame to put them in
Yeah.
a pile and burn them if they were still, somebody wanted a backyard rink.
Yeah. You could probably surplus them and. That Gov Deals auction site or some other form of just advertised bidding process on them.
Maybe offer them up to our community halls or something like that if they wanted to.
Start there, yeah, and then, or
Whoever wants them could tear it out. That would save us too, you know, like,
and then if they wrecked them, it's their fault, not.
no, if we wouldn't have to put a crew on it, do we?
No, that is, the only issue with doing that is it's gonna delay the time of us actually getting it, right?
Does it-
Then we have to advertise, well, I don't know, it makes no difference to me.
It's a work in progress once you start it.
Yeah.
Just, I guess the bottom line is we're not gonna make it into a skating rink then.
No,
Yeah, that's a good idea, Gary. Maybe put it out for offers and be responsible for removing them.
So if somebody gets hurt while they're doing that, any responsibility?
Oh. come up with waivers for that.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so you're looking for motion that we would abandon the skating rink and turn it into a green area?
Probably just throw the term fence in there as well to cover us for
Yeah.
that.
Okay, Councillor Reese has made the motion. So you want to add in?
So should we add in here, we would offer it to someone who wanted to salvage the materials. I mean, obviously, wouldn't be
Till summer.
till summer, so I mean, that would give people a certain amount of time to deal with it.
Know that they're actually, they're eating it now. You might actually be able to get the boards off in the winter even, but
Or they.
I haven't looked at those. There's probably supports that are pounded in, but the boards
Posts
themselves.
themselves will be frozen in probably, but
Yeah.
the boards shouldn't be a problem with those.
And the puck board was actually fairly new because we put a puck board on it, got it flooded for one more year and then we couldn't use it after that. So if we are gonna surplus them and try and sell them though, do you guys care what we get for them or just the highest bid and whatever we get is fine?
I think, yeah, whoever, if somebody's willing to remove them, it costs to us, that's. Those are all we can expect. Okay, Councillor Reese has made that motion. Any further discussion?
She's struggling with the wording and how to advertise and tender.
You're removing the fence or adding a fence?
Not removing a fence, so we're gonna remove the rink or advertise.
Yeah, get rid of.
Advertise the rink materials as surplus. Have removed. And then replace with fenced in green space.
Yeah, take the word fence here. To get that out of there.
We wanted that in the latter half of the motion, because that's gonna be not a big cost, but a cost to us, because we have to get more fence to. Fence the rest of it in or close it.
Install fencing as required.
So, next year. At least it's all
I just think that looks good. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay, any further questions, clarification? Okay, all in favor? Carried. Thanks, Josh and Finn. So we've got 3 minutes till our MPC meeting. Let's just do the info package. Any comments coming out of it? So we'll just get a motion to acknowledge receipt of the info package, accept the information. Councillor Yasinski, all in favor? It's carried. And we can just go our hands for 2 minutes.
Yeah, the only other thing you have is some in-camera things, so I mean, you can do
Well, I
that
have the two
after the
locations.
MPC. For your,
And maybe we could do the in-camera before lunch, because we're gonna have an hour lag there. Or 45-minute lag anyway.
Yeah.
So do we have ISL online with us?
not yet.
No.
Debbie did say she was gonna jump on at 11, just in case there was any questions.
Okay, yeah, usually they're,
Yeah,
yeah, it's.
and that's why nobody's here today. So I mean, I would welcome you to have a look and see if you're gonna dream up any questions.
But we'll wait for her, since she said she would.
I can probably recite her speech for you. Here are the approved development permits for your
Yeah.
information. Yeah. Unless council has any questions. It's gonna be just Debbie. That's what she said. Nobody's there yet.
There's a doorbell in there, so maybe she's changed her mind. Want me to say it again?
No, that's all good.
Slow, give Debbie a chance. So I need a motion to adopt the agenda. Councillor Feast, all in favor, carried. Minutes from Tuesday, October the 7th. Councillor Nowakowski accepts those minutes, all in favor, carried. And all we have on here is development permits that have been issued by the development officer. So. Piece of picture. Okay, just need a motion to acknowledge receipt of the development permits as listed there, DP 2439 and 2442, and accept them for information. Councillor Reese, all in favor? Carried. And there's nothing else on the agenda, so. Geez, we made it last minute. I'll adjourn the meeting at 11:01. And sorry, apologies to ISL. If we were too efficient. And we can reconvene our regular meeting. So, open mic. Dan, unless you want to wait till after our delegations, you may have more questions then, but you had anything up until then? Because we're gonna go in camera and then have lunch, and then we have 2 delegations coming in after lunch.
Not more than that.
Yeah.
Well, I was just wondering, is the Alberta Pond Hockey Association, the issue gonna be explored a little more, or maybe talking about it?
If it's gonna be what, a little more?
The Alberta Pond Hockey
Yeah.
Association,
What about, no?
I was reading the letter from David Allen. Are you gonna be discussing this in council a little bit more, or?
Well, that'll be a committee discussion, right? So we've appointed
Yeah,
people to the committee now, and then I guess any requests from the committee will come back to council if there is any. I mean, we support them already financially, right? So
Yeah.
The committee will have to decide what their plan is, and
sure.
One fresh ideas.
yeah, since we support them, right, they want to make sure we're included in the
Yeah.
conversation. So I mean, they didn't have one last year, right?
So the weather really threw a wrench in their gears, yeah.
I mean, weather's always a wild card, right? Some years it's 30 blow and wind, and
When is that normal?
Second weekend in March. So we've had anything from like the last year that I played, it was like -22 with the wind howling. And then last year it was so hot, they weren't comfortable with the thin layer of ice that they had, so. Yeah, it can be a wild swing.
I thought in March, my house in Nova Scotia, there was a foot of water on the lake and there was waves.
I hope we don't have one of those winters again. What else you got, Dan?
Well, it's probably pretty obvious, but I assume that you're having a public hearing for the establishing of the road, the maximum road,
No, we're not having a public hearing. We're just gonna have a public awareness of the
Okay.
reclassifying the speed limits, and then
okay,
based on that, we may go to public hearing, but likely not. Like Charles said, there are roads, so we have control of them, but if there's pushback from residents for whatever reason, then we might look at it. But for now, it's just an awareness, so people, all of a sudden, a 30-kilometer sign pops up, and well, where'd this come from? And this will make, kind of give them a little bit of a lead time to what's they're proposing. Does that make sense?
yeah, it does.
So no public hearing, I guess is a short answer.
All right. 2 hours till then.
You must have more, that's it?
Oh, well, yeah, I'll be there.
You'll come back this afternoon?
Yes, I'll come.
Okay. All right. Okay, we'll boot you out for now. See you after lunch. Welcome to come join us, lunch, I don't know if you do extra or not. But, So, I'm glad they did that about it. Yeah, exactly. It's another. There was so funny, we stopped there yesterday and we better stop there before we go home, and in comes MDAP, so in comes everybody's.
Looks like that.
Everybody's happy with the activities are doing.
Camera doesn't lie.
Going back to my childhood. Okay, motion to go down. Councillor Reese, all in favor, carried. 11:06. Yes. Not only a general item, but all four of you guys an invitation from the national. Would like to meet with us at our meeting.
It's probably not a bad idea.
This meeting is being recorded, so.
Oh, you didn't stop it? Well, that wasn't an agenda item anyway, it's just
Ben, are you still online?
and Charles.
And Charles?
Yeah, I'm still here.
So there's something,
Charles,
we don't need either one of them, right?
I don't need either of you guys.
Okay, sounds good. Shoot me a text if you need me back.
I will definitely do. Because if I remove you, then I can't, then you can't come back. So if you remove yourself, you can always come back when I told you to.
Yeah, sounds good. Whatever you need, I'm here by the computer all day.
Okay, cool. Trent, you?
And you can stop the recording. Stop the recording. No? No.
No, she should not.
Yeah, no, she wasn't able to come.
So why don't you meet up to the delegation desk here, we can hear each other better and so welcome to our council.
Thank
And we'll just do a quick introduction of ourselves and then we'll let you introduce yourself and
Okay.
give you the floor. So I'll start on my far right here.
Oh, Brent Reese, Denver, St. Valley.
Now, this is bigger than part of shooting what's on.
Teresa Stepper, Executive Assistant.
Good afternoon, I'm Garen Stickler, I'm the CIO.
I'm Terry Ungarian, Hotchkiss Hot Hills.
That is our start breaking point.
Brenda, Wisinski, Dixon, Ocean Valley.
Gary Days, Riverville.
Keelan Chung, I represent Warrenville, La Cornell area.
And we have one administration in the room as well.
Josh Hunter, Director of Finance.
Oh, nice to meet you.
You as well.
Okay, well, good afternoon and thank you for having me here today to tell you a little bit about Mighty Peace Tourism, our member benefits and some of our projects. So Teresa, you can go to the second slide. So it's our mission to promote the people, places and experiences across our region to all visitors. It's our vision to inspire visitor exploration across our region by being a destination of choice. We currently work with 19 municipalities and over 100 operators and organizations. You can go to the next slide. So we've had some good news from Alberta's tourism economy. It has more than bounced back after COVID. In 2023, Alberta experienced a record-breaking year for tourism with visitor spending of $12.7 billion, surpassing pre-COVID amounts of $10.1 billion in 2019. So realizing the importance of this industry and its role in the economy, the government of Alberta has announced a new long-term tourism strategy aiming to boost tourism revenues to $25 billion by 2035. And it's our job to make sure the Peace region gets the biggest piece of this pie as possible. You can go to the next slide.
I'm sharing. I just
And sit out.
lost.
So slide 4. And I'll see if you can go to that link, Teresa. I'm just gonna let you guys have a look at the County of Northern Lights listing on our website. So if you go up to destinations and scroll down through the communities until you get to County of Northern Lights. And then click on County of, oh, we can close that. Yeah. So this is the county's listing. We have a short description there. There's a review from TripAdvisor that we've included in there. Links to your Facebook and Instagram, a little map. And if you keep going down, there's a link to the county's website as well. Some of the beautiful pictures that we've collected. And then we've got 2 lists, 5 best. Includes the Sunny Valley Adventure Lodge, links to their listing. And then as you go down, there's a winter version. Links to the Manning Ski Hill, ideas for where to snowshoe, sled, Northern Lights, watching, ice fishing. If you continue down, it's got links to many of your community's assets, playgrounds, provincial parks, the ski hill, etc. So that's an example of a municipality, what they get, part of what they get when they have a membership with us. And we always encourage communities to put a link to this page on your website. And it's a really good thing for visitors who are coming onto your website looking for information. All of a sudden, they have all this recreational information available. So you can go to slide 5, Teresa.
Just sharing what we're doing.
So that slide it's got a list of priorities. Every 3 years, we develop a strategic plan based on research and member feedback. And I've got, I think, 6 of our main priorities on there. The first is efficient operations. So we strive to increase our efficiency each year. We've made it very easy for people to buy a membership on our new members page. Once they create a profile here, they have access to our huge photo video library, marketing documents, marketing research, our newsletters, meeting documents are here, and much more. Dominating our online domain. So it's our goal to continue to dominate our online domain by maintaining a strong online presence with significant, relevant, and current content. Mighty Peace Tourism is consistently a top result for regional searches, and our interactive website continues to perform exceptionally well. There's been a multi-year trend of significant growth on our online presence and expansion across all of our platforms. So learning and collaboration. Yep.
On that point, I mean, do you have statistics of how many of those hits on the website would have been to our specifically region?
I think Alana could probably come up with some of that information if we asked
So
her.
it
Yeah,
gives us an idea of the success rate of the website.
of that
to actually-
specific page, yeah, yeah.
Can you click on our content creator video or program? Where do you have the videos listed?
Well, that particular one takes us to Danny's Facebook
Oh.
video from Dixonville Family Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Will you be able to access it?
It's
Oh,
asking
when
me
it is.
for, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's okay. But yeah, I think I should go there.
Yeah, I mean, we won't have time today to go in and enjoy all that stuff. Oh, yeah, just unmute it because it's about what she's saying. Just at the top there. At the top of the video.
Sorry, now I'm.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, we'll
Okay, I'll keep talking while you're looking at that. So we're really proud to be able to bring a really great marketing workshop to the region. It's happening this Friday in Peace River, and we're bringing some professionals up from Edmonton. It's a completely free full-day workshop on marketing for all of our members. Non-members can attend for a $25 fee. There's still places available, so any counselors or staff interested can still attend. As far as collaboration, one of the biggest benefits that Mighty Peace Tourism offers to its municipal members is the ability to leverage Travel Alberta funding and get the most out of each dollar by collaboration on campaigns and events that increase the online presence of all of our communities. We always try to align our activities with our members' regional economic development strategies as well. Partnerships, we work with regional chambers and economic development committees, as well as our neighboring DMOs to the north and south. I'll tell you a little bit about an exciting project that has just come to our attention. Mighty Peace Tourism has been included as a stakeholder in the development of a Destination Canada tourism corridor that will be running from Edmonton to Yellowknife. And I have a meeting with these people next Monday morning, so I'll learn more about that. And that project happens to fit really well with the campaign that we've been working on regarding the 2025 World Jet Boat Championship race, which is going to be held in Hay River. We're working on an itinerary for people traveling to and from this event to encourage them to stop and explore the Peace region along their way. We also work with Indigenous Tourism of Alberta, and we're tentatively planning a session in Peace River next spring to discuss all the possibilities for Indigenous tourism in our region. I'm on slide. We can go back to slide 5. So, Hub of Tourism Information. Mighty Peace Tourism has become the best known source of tourism information for the Peace region. And we invest funds each year for the expensive search engine optimization to ensure that our website is constantly evolving to stay competitive in our industry. Each year we produce this popular activity guide map that I gave each one of you. There's a digital interactive version on the website, as well as a downloadable version. And then we also produce this physical version, and this gets distributed all over Alberta to visitor information centers and throughout our region to all tourism hotspots like the airport, hotels, campgrounds, museums, all that kind of things. And the last priority, but very important, is each year we explore various revenue streams, including membership growth, sponsorship, grants, ad sales, all things like that to maintain and expand our services. So slide 6. I will talk a little bit about our projects and campaigns. We run seasonal campaigns each year, and this year we had a summer version and a winter version of this Be Picky. You could click on that link. Hopefully it'll take us to the Be Picky campaign. This is performing really well for us. This is the winter version of this. If you go down a little bit, you can see here, there's 5 choices for people. The whole Be Picky idea is you can choose whatever appeals to you, the wilderness and adventure or the relaxing escapes, etc. You can have a look at this video if you like, that's just up. Yeah. Do you have sound for it?
Choose adrenaline from serene snowshoe trails or the perfect ice fishing spot. Thinking about your downtime, unwind in a cozy cabin or savor exquisite local cuisine. Be picky about how you eat. Dive into local culture and join in festive celebrations. Discover the heart of our community. This winter, be picky about your destination. Choose the place that has it all. Choose the Mighty Peace.
Yeah, so that's the end of that. So we're very happy with how that campaign is performing. So we also organize and promote summer and winter packages each year. This winter, we're working on ski and stay packages and a dog sledding package. Within the county, we're working on a package with the Manning Ski Hill, and if you're skiing there, you can enjoy a discounted stay at the Sunny Valley Adventure Lodge and kids receive passes to the Aurora Theatre for free. And we're also in the process of working with Travel Alberta to update our page on their website. And it was a big win for our area to convince Travel Alberta to send a content creation team to visit us this September. They captured photos and videos of many outdoor activities, all in our beautiful fall colors. They came in the perfect week, like the colors were just at their peak. And we're very excited to see this content updating their page, and we'll be able to share it on our page as well. Our content creator program, this program has run for a couple of years now, and it has been very successful. This year we're working with 3 local creators. Danny Weirden is one, Paul Lavoie and Rajan Lavoie. And they go out and visit our tourism operators, sites of interest, popular events like the Dixonville Family Day. And they share their experiences, and they capture everything with photo and video and written content and share it on their channels. A great example was the video of Danny, but I guess we won't be able to access that. And this summer we stepped it up a bit, and we were able to organize a visit by an Edmonton content creator. Her name was Linda Huang. She is a leading social media strategist and one of Alberta's prominent bloggers. She has collaborated with some major brands like Explore Canada, Travel Alberta, and Tourism Jasper. So we invited her up for 3 days in July, and we packed her schedule as full as we possibly could. And if you want to go to the, I think it's the bottom content creator program link. So this is her website, and she has shared all of this information on her travel blog. So she has a huge audience. This is really getting the word out about our region to all of her audience. We share a link on our website to her. She shares a link to our website on her site. That really helps with search engine optimization as well. We won't go through all of this, but you're welcome to visit her site and see all of her experiences. And she got some really beautiful photos and video of her experiences. We produce a quarterly external newsletter called Memories Are Made in the Mighty Peace. In April, the newsletter included an Ask a Local interview with Trinity Schmidt. She discussed what it's like to live in the county of Northern Lights and why she loves living here. Current content projects. You can click on that new video. And then it should bring us to Waterhole Rodeo. So if you just go down a bit, you can click on the video down. And if you mute it, I'll just keep talking while it's playing. But you can see that they got some really awesome drone footage of the rodeo grounds. And so we're always working on keeping our photos and videos current. So this summer we had a videographer go out to the Peace River Powwow, the Waterhole Rodeo, the Bonanza Mud Bogs, and the Woodland Cree First Nations Treaty Days. We also had a photographer and a videographer on a 1-day motorcycle shoot and a 2-day agricultural shoot to capture photos and video that will be built into tours with full itineraries. We're also working on a canoe trip guide and an Indigenous cultural experiences guide. Okay, if you want to go back to the presentation and click on the river guide link for me. So this is the river guide. We're extremely happy with how this project has turned out. And we've had excellent field feedback so far from users. You're looking at the digital version right now. It walks you through how to use it. You can download it here. You can also create your own itinerary here and save it and download it for use on the river. It contains 300, or the information includes 300 kilometers of the Peace River, 9 different municipalities, 80 different interest points, as well as estimated hours between the points for paddlers. So we are also hoping to, at some point in the next couple of years, secure some funding for an additional project to add the Smoky River to this, and also areas north of Sunny Valley to this guide. And we're also beginning to plan on printing some of them. So I'll be reaching out to your office with that information at some point. And the last project I will talk about is the geocache campaign. So we did this campaign last year to celebrate our 60th anniversary. We planted 60 geocaches all through our region, and it continues to run, and we're seeing lots of activity winter and summer. It really encouraged people to move around the region and visit areas they might not normally visit. So now you can go to slide 7. So besides all of our projects and campaigns that we've discussed, Mighty Peace Tourism plays a crucial role in the region, serving as an ambassador for our area's tourism industry. So we really are the face of tourism for the Peace. There are many situations when our region requires an industry representative to be available to speak for them, as well as collaborate with various businesses, government bodies, and neighboring DMOs for all things tourism. This year, I have represented the region's tourism industry at the Northern Alberta Development Council stakeholder outreach, the Prida Forestry Symposium, spring trade shows, the Indigenous Tourism Conference, and an agritourism conference. Mighty Peace Tourism's president represented our area at the Chinchaga Sub-Regional Planning Area Task Force, and also attended the 2024 Alberta Trappers Rendezvous and Outdoorsman Show. We also take every opportunity possible to collaborate with Grand Prairie, Mackenzie Frontier, and Slave Lake, and others to create campaigns and projects that reach an even larger audience and give visitors more reasons to travel to Northwest Alberta, stay longer, spend more, and maybe even decide to live and invest here. As an example, we worked with Mackenzie Frontier to create the Great Northern Mighty Frontier Circle Tour, and this became the most visited page in all of 2023 on our website. So it's very successful. This 2-part tour offered itineraries that included 42 different areas of interest, accommodation and restaurant ideas throughout the Mackenzie Frontier area and down through the Peace region, all the way to the town of Peace River. Mighty Peace Tourism is well placed to leverage provincial and federal funding wherever possible to facilitate research and develop strategies for future tourism products. For example, we received a federal grant from Prairies Canada and developed a trails tourism strategy. So this project was completed in 2023, and it will be a crucial component in future trails development for our region. Okay, so the next slide shows some statistics here on the website in general. I won't go through them all, but there's a trend of going up every year. All of our the website and our social platforms are growing and reach is expanding. So it's pretty impressive numbers, really, for the size of the organization that we are. So slide 9 is winter, and new projects. Yeah, new projects. This is what's happening this winter. We are planning on working with Seekers Media on a ski campaign to highlight our 5 ski hills in the region, hopefully 6, as the Spring Lake Ski Hill is hoping to open this winter. So the Manning Ski Club, as well as other areas in the county, is on our list to capture new photos and video this winter. We're also working on a Northern Lights Dark Sky guide that will be available in November, and this features 3 spots from the county as well. Hiking guide, this was recently completed and includes hikes and trails in the county, specifically the Dixonville Community Trail, the Figure 8 Lake Loop, and the trails at Twin Lakes. I mentioned already the River Guide expansion plan. We've been working with Canada Dream, who is an RV rental business. They have locations across Canada, and we've been working with them to give them lots of content in the form of photos, videos, ideas of sites of interest for their itinerary that runs from Edmonton to Fort Smith. We took a look at the Winter Be Picky campaign already. As far as content creator, we're inviting Linda to come up and visit the area again this winter from Edmonton. And she's going to do some skiing and other winter activities and get some photos and videos to share on her website. We recently hosted a content creator meetup for our local creators. And they visited some of our businesses and restaurants and things, and they did some amazing activities. They were paddling on the river, hiking, mountain biking, they went river boating, and they even went paragliding. So they're going to have a bunch of really nice video and photos here in the next month or so to share on the website as well. So to wrap things up, I just want to reiterate that Mighty Peace Tourism is consistently growing and expanding. Our strategic planning and marketing efforts are evolving to match the region's growing tourism offerings. These efforts continue to drive economic growth and in community investment. And this effective destination marketing also assists in the attraction of skilled professionals and newcomers by showcasing our high quality of life, strong community support, and recreational activities. So there's so many opportunities in this region, and we're excited to be part of what 2025 holds for the county. And I want to say thank you to all of you, and especially Brenda, for all the time she gives to our executive. We really appreciate her. And that's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Did you have any questions for me?
You never mentioned the Peace Valley Snow Riders, or whatever they call the snowmobile club. They have a trail system.
Yeah.
Do you work in conjunction with them?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
They're members, and we have they have a listing with links to their website and information on their trails. Yeah.
And then I know we heard at one time around the Manning area, and I don't know other areas in the municipality, but they developed some trails for ATVs, like side-by-sides, quads and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I don't know if you're aware of that or can promote that.
No, I'm
Is
not
that
aware of that.
Part of the Mighty Peace, I think they are.
No.
Manning doesn't belong to Mighty Peace.
Who would be in charge of that?
Well, Keith Hutchison is one that brought it up.
Oh, yeah, just send me the contact information. I can reach out.
I don't know, when they tried to get something off the ground because it's getting to be a problem. Everybody's got side-by-sides and quads now, but they got no place to go, that they're not trespassing or doing damage to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If there's a trail system, it should be promoted, right?
Yeah, definitely, because that is something that's special to this area. Yeah.
Brenda can put you in touch with them.
Yeah, you betcha.
Any other questions?
I was gonna mention Twin Lakes. You know, there's ice fishing there and.
Yeah, we have a listing about Twin Lakes on there. And yeah, it's involved. Yeah, it's included in many of our listicles and ideas of where to fish or hike or, yeah. Yeah.
So I just see in the chair's letter there that the requesting an increase in their membership by just 9 cents or something per capita, so.
Yeah. Yeah, cover cost of living increases and, yeah.
We hear that every day. So.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for making the trip. Up
Yeah,
here.
thanks for having me. I'll leave this box of goodies here for you guys.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's nice to get a whole report on what we're getting for our fees here, so.
Yeah, well, if you ever have any questions, just contact me, and if you know of any new things or like we'd really like to get some more business members in this county. So if you know of anybody that's starting a new restaurant or literally anything, just let us know.
How about like the outfitters? Do you have a association with the outfitters, like the guides? You know, that
Some of them, we work with an outfitter from, McLennan.
there is a lot of outfitters in our municipality that probably should get some maybe they don't need, maybe they got more clients than they can handle, they don't want more, but.
Yeah, and I reached out to a fella that's operates around Fairview, who's actually an American, but he comes up every fall.
Right.
But
Maybe-
yeah, I think Alana had reached out to an outfitter here. I'm not sure who it was though. But
In the county, I'm not sure.
yeah, but yeah, any
Okay.
kind of any information like that, send my way. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Danny. Okay, we're right on time here. The next delegation I see is ready to go. Is everybody ready to go? Need a bathroom break or a coffee break or no? We'll get right into it. So welcome, Jen. And I think a lot of us seen your presentation at RMA up in the creek, but those that didn't, and a refresher for those that did. And while you're passing out your cards, we'll just start on my far left to introduce council to you.
Keelan Shook, I represent Warrensville, La Cornell area.
Harry Tays, or wherever in there.
Randy Exinski, Dixon Ocean Valley.
Gloria Decken, North Star Breaking Points.
Terry Ungarian, Hotchkiss Hot Hills.
Yeah, Stephen, I'm Seattle.
Grace Pepper, executive assistant. Hi, Linda August, Cape River Carpenter.
Brent Reeve with Sunny Valley.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Reeve and Deputy Reeve and Council.
Yeah, so you can introduce yourself and then make presentations ready to go there, so you can take us through it.
It's got to share it again. On Zoom. So it gets on the recording.
Do you have a way of using this USB? I can click my own slides or
And I,
it's not a, it's got no information on it, it's just so I can use this. I click them instead of asking for the slide.
so will it show on Zoom?
Once you share your screen, it will.
Yeah.
He just needs to
Say
plug that in
it's
so he can
paused,
use it.
So have you unpause?
Is there anybody on Zoom?
Grab that for me too. We
Yeah.
should be able to make that work. Got it here.
It's easier for the presentation.
The first thing I loaded up is,
Yeah.
you may have noticed in the introduction letter that we've updated our CEO now, that it says, Mrs. Van Ort, so. Gerard is our new CEO now, so
Oh, okay.
update your files.
Yeah, probably better do that too. Thank you, Reeve, Deputy Reeve Council, for hearing our presentation. I know I did one in December with Preta and Spear River and then one at Lick Creek. And I know Gary, you were there, both of them, getting to know a few of your faces here now. Thank you very much for taking this notice. And like you say, Terry, we felt early on in the summer, we should get out to every municipality, every town, hamlet, city in the Northwest and explain what our project's about, not only at the Masco Medical Diagnosis Clinic end, but also our facility that we decided to endeavor to build for helping U of A and so forth. Does it not work?
See if you can.
Oh, it's working. Yeah,
It's sharing.
There we go.
Oh, from the audio.
Yeah.
Good.
as long as it clicks on yours, I guess. Yeah, so we're your number 22nd presentation out of about 32 that we're doing. I was in high level last night at 7 o'clock. And then I'm heading to Calgary right after this meeting to do a presentation with some oil and gas stakeholders in the Northwest. To start campaign.
This morning?
Pardon me?
You drove down from high level this morning?
Last night. I drove up yesterday and back last night to get here, stayed at the Nova. So yeah, just Ken Drysdale, I'm chairman of the board at Masco Medical Center. Spent most of my career in the pipeline industry. As a young guy, went out to pay for a farm and pipeline for 42 years. And now I currently farm just outside of Grand Prairie by the traffic circle. I'm retired from the pipeline industry in 2022. So I'm full-time farmer. Wish I had the crops that they had in Hawk Hills this year, but I don't. So it was a short harvest. But yeah, we come up with this project just as a medical clinic to start with, due to family experience. everyone probably in this room has a friend, a family member, a neighbor, or something that's gone through some serious health issues that maybe weren't diagnosed in time, and it just became affecting their family and life. And so mine started in 2002 at Christmas time when my wife was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, 30% chance to make 5 years. Luckily, I had a company behind me at the time, and I was able to take her throughout North America and work with the Cross Cancer in Edmonton, and she's still here today. Most families don't have that financial support and realize they got to fight for their health, and especially when it goes sideways. And I've been very fortunate in that. But I was able to travel North America and look at different ways of delivering medical diagnosis in communities. And when we arrived at the Rochester, Minnesota Mayo Clinic in 2008, it was like walking through a time zone. Just the way they approached us as patients, and just the atmosphere in the area, the doctors that we met, and the language they used. Their language was we and my colleagues, or me and my colleagues, not I. Their timely diagnosis, their timely appointments, and just the atmosphere throughout the facility. I made a comment to one of the specialists that when you walk through this building, 80% of the people are there for the same reason as we are, and probably some of them more critical, and yet they're happy in the elevators, they're telling jokes, they feel like someone cares. And yet when I come home to Grand Prairie and even drive by our hospital, my arms burn because I see people outside feel like they're got nobody supporting them and so forth. So we went through that from 2008 at the mother company in Rochester till 2017 when we were down there again for another situation with my wife. And at that appointment, we'd prior for about a month run around Alberta trying to solve an issue. And in 2 hours, they told us what was wrong, what needed to be done. So when we got out in the foyer, I said to my wife, we need to go back to Alberta and start pounding on government and health system and try and change the way delivery is done, especially in serious health conditions. So 2018, we formed the board, and our goal was to just design a collaborative diagnostic clinic of specialists. And we worked through that with 3 premiers and 4 health ministers and several deputy ministers of Alberta Health and Alberta Health Services. And then as we transformed into that and started working towards an ARP in 2022 and 3, all of a sudden we got approached by the University of Alberta to maybe help them with their phase 2 expansion in Grand Prairie for teaching family physicians. That wasn't our intent to be landlords, but it seemed like the right thing to do to make it a wholesome community for health in the future. So that's how we got to where we're at today. So I'll just quickly run through it. Imagine quite a few of you have read. Did you read the stuff that was sent to you already? I don't want to hold you up too long. Okay. And yeah, it's an important item in the Northwest right now. So yeah, I'll just discuss things as we go through. So just a quick note, 2017, I spoke to the directors of the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, asked them if they'd build a facility in Western Canada. They said, absolutely not, but we'll partner with you. The next day, switching planes in Chicago, my phone chimed and there was a letter of intent to partner with me and my wife on a medical clinic in Western Canada. And so from 2017 to late 2022, they spent 1 hour a month with an international team working with me and then with the board on how to open a clinic of collaboration in Alberta. With Rochester, yeah. And we had planned at first for them to be our virtual backup, and we're working with the Alberta government on how we do that across borders. And then the Mayo had to pull out in late 2022 due to the wait on their medical professionals since COVID. They were losing their own medical professionals. So after that, we've turned our approach to the Alberta Health and said, then we've got all the learnings, we need to make it Alberta made. So we've been working with Alberta Health since that to do our own gathering of doctors and virtual to have virtual backups when we need them down the road, so. It's in progress, it just takes time, so. Okay, our goal is to improve the quality of life and health outcomes in northwestern Alberta. We're Alberta-based, not-for-profit, registered charity right through to Ottawa. Accelerating the process and improving access to medical specialists and family physicians. So any surplus funds from our project, whether it's through tenancy or donors, will be reinvested back into research and education in the medical field. And what we mean by that, it could be a satellite office up in this area. It could be bursaries for Northwest students to get through med school and return to their communities. It could be a collection of a lot of things like that. I had a young lady from Sucker Creek research a name for me. I asked her to make it meaningful to Indigenous communities. She came back with a bear, an eagle, and a fish. I chose the bear because I knew we were taking on a difficult task with government, and everyone's scared of the bear. The Cree culture, the bear is an important symbol representing good medicine and powerful spirit used in traditional ceremony. The Peace region is one of the best places to work and live, work and raise a family. As you see from the previous presenter, we live in a beautiful part of the province. Yet our residents have poor health outcomes and healthcare systems bogged down, and our valued healthcare professionals are tired and frustrated. That's why you hear a lot of emergency wards closed. There's just not enough staff around, doctors in the regions to keep them emergency wards open over weekends. Led by residents in the Peace region, Mascot is brought together by a shared common goal of improving the outcomes. Here's our current board when we put that together in 2018. The ironic part was when we talked about it through 17 and early 18 at all the local functions, everybody was on board to help. Anyone you talk to, at tables or in the streets, businessmen alike. But when it came down to actually putting feet in the ground, names to the seats, as we got about the first 10 board members aboard in our first meeting with Minister Chandro in Grand Prairie in July of 2020, we realized that these are second, third, fourth generation people that stepped up to the plate, which shows how
You recognize her.
Yeah. It wasn't the families that came to town for the quick oil patch dollar or the boom season. It was the families that had generational investment in the community, which you find in your region here. So we made sure we had a combination of lawyers, medical professionals, insurance, commercial construction, business owners, and the like. And nobody stepped off the board to date, even though some of them since 2020 have been getting busy trying to keep their buildings or their businesses afloat. I think I'm one of two that are actually retired out of these 14. The other one's my wife, I think. So the rest are still working day-to-day jobs, but they've been really supportive. We have a couple of members from NWP, Desiree Marin and Megan Stone, and Dr. Pertuzia representing us on the medical side. There'll be no fees charged to the patients. That was one of the mistakes we made when we first started talking about the project. We mentioned the word mail. Everyone thinks that the mail means bring your checkbook. What we meant was the concept, not the financial end. Masco Medical will be funded by an innovative ARP arrangement with the government of Alberta and philosophical initiatives. Specialists will be salaried based on 5 days a week, 8 to 5. The financial and operational operation of Masco will be overseen by a board of directors and accountable to the government of Alberta for its billing to the Alberta Healthcare Insurance Plan for the service of physicians and specialists in the diagnosis of diseases and its use in the public funds for its services.
What's ARP?
It's an alternative relationship plan. It's the way they fund agreements with all the doctors and medical professionals in the province. And it's the one thing that aligns them with the fee for service, which is the health system. Have been fighting for their living and producing too many patients through a day and not being properly attended to. So in this, explain a little bit about the clinic, and then we'll go on to the building, U of A academic center later. So right now the clinic, in 1993 to see a specialist in Alberta every 3 to 4 weeks. As the latest stats last year were 17 to 18 weeks. So you can see how much harder it is to see a specialist. Ratio 0.06 in rural Alberta per 1,000, 0.29 in rural or in urban, I mean. And we see in rural Alberta our lack of access to specialists. The new innovative not-for-profit model to help the Peace Region in 3 ways: improve access to specialists, not only help retain, but also attract doctors and overall increase the healthcare costs and actually reduce long-term healthcare costs. We found that through working with the Mayo. We gave them a few disease samples. They came back to us with what they found by early intervention, what it saved the health system. And it was substantial. Our goal is to get patients set up with treatment plan in 10 days, walking through center doors. We vow to ensure patients don't get stuck in a referral cycle. Process philosophy will save time, money for patients and caregivers related to taking time from work, travel, and accommodation. If we can get this up and running as we plan, families no longer have to leave, travel to Edmonton, Calgary, Red Deer 2-3 times a year to see specialists, and taking time away from work and expensive costs for hotel and travel. Here's the current system. You go through a family physician, the treatment plan, the symptoms are prevailing. You get diagnosis unclear, you go to a specialist, you go back around through the cycle. And if you misdiagnose the first time a specialist, it may be 17 to 18 weeks before you see another one. And quite often you hear when someone's finally diagnosed, the reply is, if we'd have caught it sooner, the outcome would be different. Here's our plan. The family physician, he does what he does at his level of training, gives you a treatment plan. If it's not working, refer you to Mascua. We then have our team take over and try and help get the diagnosis plan in place sooner. Also keeping the family physician, the family in the process. University of Alberta, through innovative technology and virtual conferencing, the Mascua medical specialists will collaborate with panel of specialists across the province and Western Canada, complicated conditions or concerning symptoms. I have talked to a couple of specialists that are living in Victoria now and just come in on the odd term for the Alberta Health. And they said they'd love to be on a panel in certain areas of the body. And if they were needed, they would make time to be only with a specialist on site. So in speaking with a couple of them, I'm sure there's a couple of hundred out there that would do the same. Through referrals and collaborative team approach, physicians will work closely with the Mascua Center to refer their challenging cases and timely access. Working together, we'll be finding ways to improve the caseload and hours worked by medical staff to improve their quality of life in the region. One thing we did learn working through the Mayo Clinic was we do have the best health professionals in Alberta at all levels. It's just our system and how it's set up that's letting them down. Now we go more to the center. This is what our design is now. I just got word today that our final drawings and specifications should be completed by the end of the week. So we'll be going out to bid to 5 general contractors first part of November. Hopefully get them back by December 15th and work through choosing a contractor to put shovel in the ground early in the spring. Might get some civil work done this winter. We were hoping to get shovel in the ground by now, but waiting on some government signatures with land and the U of A always seems to slide on you. So the location of the building is right south of the new parkade in front of by the new hospital and right across from the emergency down in the right hand corner. And then the general entrance to the hospital is straight up in the top corner. And we'll have a pedway that'll go across to the current pedway that comes out of the parkade. So anyone from this facility, whether it's the doctors or patients or family, be able to transverse between parking and the hospital and our facility indoors and not out and fighting the weather climate. Yeah, currently it's a 3-floor plan. We do have a parkade underneath, so it's 103,000 square foot altogether, including the parkade. The first floor is designed to work with the U of A, 22,000 square feet. And they'll train 20 family physicians, 2-year program, 10 in their first, 10 in their second, graduating 10 a year out in the community. Second floor is pharmaceutical, medical supply, daycare, restaurant, more wraparound services that aren't right there in the region right now. The medical supply business is if someone's released from the hospital, they can call over and someone will come over with a cart full of supplies and a consultant will sit with the family and arm the family before they leave the hospital and have a helpline if they need something after hours. The daycare is for the staff at the hospital prioritized, and then WP students and med student going to school. And then if the seats aren't filled, they'll go out to the public. We've had 5 applicants so far to date. We're reviewing them all. It's going to be 24-hour daycare, capable of 80 to 100 kids per shift. Just to give you a little idea, I don't know who can see it here, but over top our parkade entrance there, we decided up in the north, instead of having an open ramp, we may as well put a terrace over it, and that'd be the playground. It's about 5,200 square feet, just outside the walls of the daycare center. The daycare is another 5,500 in behind. And then you have retail not along here. And then the restaurant at the closest end to the hospital. The third floor will be our specialist clinic, currently designed for 14 offices, 10 exam rooms, 1 day surgery room, and a lounge for the doctors to get away and have a bowl of soup or a rest period, read a magazine, etc. University of Alberta, of course, I said the first floor, 22,000 square feet, 20 residents, students. Each graduate family physician will have the training to see between 900 to 1,100 patients per year once they graduate from the facility. And they are talking about having an incubator offices in the building until that graduate is comfortable moving out on his own. Recruit rural, train rural, and retain rural. Will be a key partner in training for medical program. Will house a teaching clinic for med students and family medicine residents. Clinic will have extended hours of practice, including evenings and weekends, and reduce pressures on the emergency department across at the hospital by 50%. That stat came from last year's numbers. 51% of them walking in the emergency in Grand Prairie should be going to a family physician clinic, but don't have one, so they're sent there, tying up the staff that are there for the emergencies that come through the door in ambulances. So we hope that we can have them transferred across and freeing up the emergency ward. Focus of the Northern Alberta Medical Program is to recruit students from rural Alberta and BC, train them in Grand Prairie and northern communities, and then they will have to stay and practice in the northern communities. We know this works based on the example of Prince George BC model, where 75% of the graduates are now practicing in rural and regional communities. Now, for a student to leave Manning and return as a family physician, they first need to obtain a bachelor's degree, which takes 4 years. Then they could go to NWP and do the undergrad med education, medical school, which is basic training to obtain a medical degree, 4 years. And they're going to be enrolling up to 30 med students per year at NWP. So 4 years starting from 2025, there will be 120 students in their 1, 2, 3, and 4 year over at NWP, heading for a medical degree in some area of the medical career. All 4 years of medical program delivered in GP and northern communities. And then they'll move over to the residency program at our facility for their final 2 years, specializing training after completing 4 years at NWP, and become a family physician in 2 years. Other specialties such as surgery, internal medicine, and so forth, the U of A is planning on starting that training in 2030, so they can actually stay on another 4 years. And in 14 years, return back to Manning with a degree as a general internist or surgery. It's a tremendous opportunity for medical students to work closely with the University of Alberta Faculty of Family Medicine, collaboration with the Municipal Clinic and its partners on training and employment opportunities for NAP graduates will keep our talent in the region. So by staying in Grand Prairie, they can keep coming home to Manning and stay connected to family and community on long weekends and holidays. That's not losing them to the southern communities. Having NWP, the University of Alberta and Masco Specialist Clinic in northern rural communities will truly benefit us all. So far, our funders, main ones have been the City of Grand Prairie, the County of Grand Prairie, and the MD of Greenview. They've started out with helping us with a business plan in 2021 to Minister Chandro, and then most recently a year ago, helping us with the engineering design budget to get our building going, even though we didn't have all the agreements in place. We didn't want to lose time by starting now in order to get the building up in time and help getting doctors out in the community by 2028. So, and then most here in the last couple of months, they also provided us with $3.5 million of capital funding. It's all three of them for $10.5 million, and we approached 3 financial institutions for the remaining 25 to get our shovel in the ground and construction going. Pardon me?
What's the total cost?
The building cost, $35 million is our budget, and we're gonna do our best to hold it to that. We've actually dove in and taken over some of the design ourselves to make sure it's constructible in our region under that price benchmark. Most recently on a presentation to Saddle Hills west of Spear River, they phoned us an hour later and they're putting us in for $3.5 million in their 2025 budget. The Clear Hills County, after presentation, is giving us $50,000 for 2025 and including us in their future budgets if it's possible. So we have $14 million right now dedicated from the 4 municipalities, and we expect that to increase in the future. We haven't yet. My first presentation to stakeholders is tomorrow in Calgary, and we'll be campaigning hard in that all winter. To stakeholders in Calgary, Synovus, Pembina, all them. There's about 14. Dan Stanky, one of the founders of Secure Energy, is going with me.
What about the province? Have they committed anything?
Pardon me?
Have the province committed?
Currently, we're putting stuff together, and Wayne Drysdale, who is my cousin, and he was in the government there under infrastructure minister and stuff for a few years. Him and Travis Taves and Jackie Clayton from the City of Grand Prairie are putting a proposal together to the government and meeting with Treasury about the middle of November. They've already spoken to them, and they're going to have us in the queue for budget February 2025. We're asking them for 15 million. So my goal is to be honest, my goal is to raise 50 million. Why? Because everything over the cost of construction will be reinvested back into Northwest communities and health, education, and bursaries, and helping get the program off the ground, and carrying on with enhancing healthcare in the north. There's no one profiteering off of this project other than those working inside the facility, making a living. Alta Gas called us, heard what we're doing, gave us 30,000 and told us once we get shovel in the ground, come back for a longer term sponsor the building or whatever we can do for within the facility to show them as a supporter. Unfortunately, I don't have a BIMX walk through the building. When we come up again to update you later on, we'll have we'll put it on our site there, and I'll get Jesse to get it out to you so you can all get the link and do a walkthrough of what the building's going to look like and donor wall stuff and so forth. Synovus about this time last year phoned me. The employee told them what we're doing. They gave us 20,000 support the girls in February. A cancer foundation group in Grand Prairie gave us 50,000 in February to keep going, and our board members have stuck in over 500,000 of personal cash to keep things going. It's hard to believe we'd spend that kind of money, But it just seems like it takes time and money to keep consultants, lawyers, accountants, third-party stuff going to put this program together. We've got well over 27,000 volunteer hours to date, and well over 65,000 kilometers of traveling throughout the province over the last 5 years. Just trying to promote and work with the government to get this in place. Most recently, I was lucky enough to have national car rentals out of Grand Prairie. The Minos family gave me an SUV as I was getting too much heat at home, miling out my own truck. They're not cheap anymore, as you know. So anyway, right now, design, like I said, we're done. We're getting the final ready here for going out for tender. The university long-term tenant agreements in progress. We want that because we don't want to build a building and not have a tenant that we're building it for. The problem we're having right now is Alberta Health wants U of A to sign the long-term. U of A is arguing with them about not signing the long-term unless they'll guarantee the funds for the long-term. Because as many of you probably know, Alberta Health only gives out funding in increments of 3 to 5 years. So they're working out that between themselves. We had quite a head-on collision there about a month ago with the health minister and the U of A, and they've agreed to get this done and in place. We're working with our MLAs almost daily. They're going down the hallways, pushing it, trying to get it in place. The Alberta Health says they didn't never do an agreement directly with a landlord. They always do it through third party, AHS or some other group. So that's their stalling, and yet the U of A doesn't want to do it and then be hung out. And I agree with them. 60-year land agreement with NWP. Well, we've been a year working on that, and I finally got word last Wednesday. We got through all the drafts. Draft 11 been approved. I saw emails this morning where everything's in place. We're going to have signatures on the paper probably before the end of the week. And it's for 40-year plus 2 10-year renewals. So it's a 60-year land agreement. The reason we went to draft 11 is the first 5, anyone in this room would throw them in the garbage because it was basically worded, you build it, we'll take it. The building contractor tender documents that are in place, we'll get the bids out right away. EOIs for facility tenants, we've had 4 or 5 applicants for every space on the 2nd floor. We've done most of the interviews and we'll be deciding on them before the 1st of December. And we're working with them. We wanted them involved early because we're building the base building and the common areas, and we want them involved early on in the design of their tenant space areas. Groundbreaking ceremony, of course, that's not going to happen because of delays in signing with government. But we are doing a photo op on this Thursday at 3:30 on the land, now that we have it agreed to. And if any of us are in town on Thursday at 3:30 p.m., come by the hospital and jump in the photo, because we'd like everybody we can to be involved. Building, pardon me?
Well, now is having a open house that same day.
Yeah, and are you
So
folks?
I guess you guys kind of planned it.
Yeah, we built it around there now, U of A being in town, so forth. The building construction began October, December. I guess we should get this updated because it slid into frost. We might get some civil work done, but we're going to be definitely ready to hit it early in the spring. And if we have a winter like last winter, we'll probably get that opportunity. Capital fundraising in progress. Indigenous consultations are ongoing. We've left lots of space in the building for Indigenous culture and paintings and art and so forth. And we're working with Duncan, Sturgeon and Horse Lake to get their elders and students involved. So the purpose of this is to demonstrate how the capital costs when you break it down per resident. It's actually a very small investment. When we first come up with 35 million, I thought the city and the 2 counties were going to go out the door, so I had to figure out another way to explain to how we can get it done. Just to put it in perspective, they had me on the board in 2004 and 5 for Evergreen Park. The president at the time was Gord Krennick, a lawyer, and the second meeting come around, they said, did his round table thing at the end. Anyone got anything else to say? And come to me, I said, yeah, I haven't got time for this. He said, why is that? I said, because we said the same thing we said a month ago and nothing's been done. The park's in disarray, we need to fix it up. So in between 2005, 2008, we raised 21 million, built the tech center, did the casino, paved, did lighting, rebuilt the track, rebuilt horse barns. And that 21 million was just for a small demographic of people that attended. If out of the 210,000 Northwest Alberta, I'd be surprised if 50,000 of them have walked through them gates at one time or another. So when you look at 21 million for 50,000 in the region versus 35 million for 210, it doesn't even pale in comparison. So
are you going into BC, Northeast BC as well, or?
yeah, I gave a presentation to PRRD in August, and they're fully informed of what we're doing and they want to partake. They just want to work out some stuff with their government and in the Northeast region there. Also, they're going to meet up with the County of Grand Prairie and start working with the minister in Alberta and the minister in BC to get rid of some of the red tape across the line. They see a real opportunity for their students to come and get their training at this facility. So out of the 30 students entering the med school, 80% of them have to be Alberta residents. The other 20% can be out of province. So they're going to apply for the 6 additional seats where they see fit to get their students down into the facility. They said, how are we going to figure out the health issue between the ministries and who's paying and everything? And I said, I don't know. I think we can figure it out. Costco did. So our parking lot at Costco is always full of BC plates every weekend. So we can figure it out. Benefit of the Peace Region 5 ways, not only help retain, but also attract doctors in the area, improve quality of care for patients, employee retention for employers in the region due to improved access to healthcare and overall increased healthcare costs, and investment in research, education, and healthcare in Northwest Alberta. Again, we applied the $170 to the latest census in your council region. And we, at that time, it was 4152 times 170 or 700,000. We're just using that as an example. We don't know the financial state of any municipalities, cities, or towns. And we're not asking for that today. What we would like is a letter of support if you agree with the project. And if you can do anything in your future budgets, it'd be greatly appreciated. The one thing we don't want is if you do something as far as helping us with funding, we don't want it to impact the tax base of your residents currently to do that. We'll find it somehow. So that's my presentation there.
Exciting. Yeah. So we got some questions. I think I asked you is that with Cretan, and
yeah.
You had an answer is what's the magic trick that Mascot is going to use that you can have a full suite of specialists, physicians, nurses, whatever, that Alberta Health Services can't seem to provide for now? Why we're waiting 17 weeks when you can do it in 10 days? What's going to be the difference?
Yeah, I agree with you, Terry, and I appreciate your question up there. And just to give you a little insight, I'm getting approached now by the 7 general internists in Grand Prairie to be part of our 3rd floor. And they said they'll help starting right away, helping us retain or recruit specialists that have left the region for culture reasons, but were excellent specialists that didn't want to stick around Grand Prairie at the time. It's a few years ago. And also people they know in the industry that would come to Grand Prairie now with the new hospital and new clinic to work in and the changes that we're making. So that is encouraging to me because at the start, 6-7 years ago, even our PCN doctors were, you're just going to try and steal our revenue and so forth. And now they're even encouraged in meeting with us and wanting to help with moving this forward because they see us as a support to their career, not a loss of revenue. But there is still the hurdle, Terry, there's no doubt.
And you touched on using some more virtual options like specialists in Detroit or wherever they could dial in.
Yeah, through the border sharing information stuff, you got to really be careful now. Like we really come up against a wall going to the US side but it was view only is what we were gonna use. And the same with retired doctors or specialists in Edmonton. And U of A, our agreement to do this building is that they start working with their specialists and subspecialists on how to make time for our specialists in our floor to, if they put out an ask on an app that it flashes on their phone or their app. 2 o'clock this afternoon, would you be available? And if there has to be 7 specialists in that area that says, yeah, I'm available at 2. All it takes is 2, 1 in our site and them 2. That's collaboration of like me and my colleagues. So that's the type of stuff we're doing. There is an app out in BC called Connect the Doctors. It's working very well. And it's in its early stages, but we're looking seriously at that to help bring that into Alberta and work with the specialty side. Especially if we're gonna have doctors retired and living in Victoria and Vancouver. And I'll step out on a limb. I sat with Premier Kenny and said this building across the way here, this historic building that all its taxpayers are paying for, why don't you turn it into a building of specialists, retired specialists? And so that all of Alberta can reach out into that for virtual and help their local doctors, general internists, do that throughout Alberta. And he said, you think out there a long ways. I said, yeah, but it can't be just Grand Prairie doing it. It's got to be, one in Fort McMurray, one in our major centers and help our residents of those regions from this heavy burden of travel and long waits. So it's going to take a long time, Terry. It's not get the result today. It's going to be a 10. What they told us at the mail is keep pushing the seed. In 10 years, you'll get something started. The community will see what they have, and in 20 years, they'll wrap their arms around and won't hold it back.
So this clinic to the center could potentially, maybe it would serve more of the Northwest region, right, including BC. But you don't put borders on it that somebody from Milk River couldn't come to this clinic, or?
No, I don't think.
It should take the pressure off the larger centers, right?
Yeah.
You could take all these patients away from Calgary, Edmonton, Lethbridge.
I think we get this off the ground, Terry. I think you'll see those communities follow suit. Fort Mac already asked me, their MLA, to come up and explain this program to them in their region. And because they are talking about building a facility up there, but some entrepreneur was going to build it on the other side of town. And what we learned from the mail is you build it by the hospital or connected to the hospital, and you have youth and education wrapped around it. And all them 3 components will make it successful. And the key thing is not for profit, so that any profits or donor activists and that they know it's being reinvested back into the health in their region. So we most recently became a member of the Canadian Philosophical Foundations, which gives us access to put our story out there. The University of Alberta receives about $20 million a year through this foundation, but families across Canada. So, and which I saw in their names, there's 11,000 donors in this foundation, and there's 90 related to health and healthcare, and about 25 of them are in our northern region.
We will tap into that.
Yeah.
Another question.
Yeah, was an ambitious undertaking, and thanks for taking it on. See, we got numbers that are of medical students that are training in this facility, and are you confident you can get those numbers?
Yeah, Brent, that won't be my responsibility, but the NWP and the government are currently already setting up to recruit and bring in students in the north. Some of them maybe have already applied to Edmonton, and they'll move them up here instead of training them in Edmonton to start the program.
Oh, I see. So you're not necessarily recruiting them from the area.
No, and they're one of the things that when we went to do this a year ago was making sure they dropped some of the requirements so that international students aren't pushing out our Northwest students. And as long as they have the required academics, that they get prioritized in the rural communities and Indigenous communities. And they've done that, they've taken that, lowered that down to an acceptable level so that the entry for the Northwest students can get in. So that's their focus, is to prioritize Northwest and Northeast BC.
But I understand if Northwest and Northeast BC can't fill the seats, they won't let them go vacant, they'll let international. Or out of province,
From out of province, yeah.
but international as well.
I don't want to answer that, Terry. I'd be stepping out of my
I just don't want to see seats sit empty, right? So,
yeah, yeah.
But, so I had one more, I'll give everybody else an opportunity, but so 50 million, you want to raise 35, you know, to build it, hopefully less if you're really, but whatever the number comes in that. So many things, it's one thing to build it, but then you have to operate it. So is this thing going to be funded by AHS or Alberta Health, where they put some money into paying occupancy there for these specialists and doctors?
Yeah, that's what our anchor tenant agreement is on the ground floor.
So it should support itself then?
With the ground floor and the second floor with the tenancy in place, it will, if we can get the building debt free. Well, it will fund itself. If we get the third floor full, we'll show, and the building's paid for, we'll show a profit of about $1 million a year, but it can stand about 14.5 million of debt and break even if we have the building full of tenants. So yeah, we've done all different types of scenarios. We know what we have to raise.
So would it be with their signature or?
No, being not for profit, the facility and the teaching clinic, medical aspects of it will be tax free. The only ones taxed will be the private businesses on the second floor, not the daycare because of the service that they provide. Most of them are not for profits.
Great initiative. I was, you know, up in Macredo, I was quite, at first I'd heard of it, and I was, wow, this is, well, we're just kind of repeating the same thing, so.
Yeah.
Pretty ambitious timelines too, right, to be open by 2026.
Yeah, yeah, well, we've already let the U of A leadership know that we probably won't make their August 2026 due to delay in them getting anchor tenant stuff signed up, and the NWP college late on giving us the land and stuff like that. So we've let them know. So they're going to make sure that they've got alternative ways until we can get it open in late 2026, probably. So
It won't be like the Grand Prairie Hospital.
No, I'll be in there pounding nails or doing something. Yes. But no, it does seem like a big endeavor, but you know, when you go down and you experience something else and you know it can be done here and it should be done here, it's not that big. It's not that big a thing to do. So
well, if there's no further questions, let you carry on. You got miles to make yet?
yeah, I'm gonna be in the saddle for a while. So
No
thank
more
you.
presentations on the way home, straight back to Grand Prairie?
No, I get back to that photo thing on Thursday, so
Thursday.
I'll be leaving from the thing tomorrow and driving home.
I'm going down there too, so I might see you there, but
Okay, we just pull it up.
Yeah, you bet. The other thing too is whether the communities or towns, cities, whatever, can help with funding or not. We if you can give us that letter of support. And the other thing what we want to do once we get this building going is get a representative from each area to meet a couple times a year, bring to the table what you see in your region, so that we can help with the U of A and NWP putting a plan together to try and make sure that these students and that get back out to your communities when they're finished their education degrees, that we don't want them just doing what they're doing in Edmonton, Calgary, and stay around Grand Prairie. The idea is to get them out into Manning, high level, and stuff like that.
so the letter of support would go to the Mascot Center?
No, we'd like it directed to Health Minister LaGrange and CC, the Premier, and ourselves. And so far, we've got about 19 that they've had land on their desks. So
We certainly could do that at a minimum, and hopefully we can do more. We'll have a discussion.
Yeah.
At the end of our meeting today, and let you know what happens. And
yeah, anything, you know, funding wise, anything over the next few years, whatever. It's not
That's my
something.
question, that 700 it wasn't a lump sum to start with?
No, it's whatever you, we don't know everyone's reserves, revenue and client base. That's why I say, we just want to make sure it's not gonna affect your tax base, your residents. And so forth, so. I keep telling the mayor that.
That's easier said than done.
Yeah, I know. I just keep telling the mayor in Grand Prairie that they just need to let people drive over one more street of potholes a little longer instead of making it nice and smooth. I'm sure they'd rather have a doctor than potholes fixed. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Safe travel.
And just keep in touch with our website. We try and do updates all the time, but we'll keep you informed.
Nobody made the motion yet.
Well, we have it ready.
That's what I call, but we need a motion to appoint Linda and Gloria for a negotiating committee with the union. Okay, Councillor Reese.
As long as they agree to be hard nosed.
As far as I can do.
Okay, any,
Yeah.
We're gonna put.
oh, I guess we should,
Yeah,
we should include, and Caitlin as an alternate.
Yes, and I think from last year's motion, you have to include like all the bargaining committees, so if you're including Jared or not, I think that has to be mentioned.
Okay.
That's what we do.
Director.
Really? I would have thought it would have just been the elected people.
But you're part of the bargaining committee. right?
Yeah. Even Carly on there too.
And our lawyer.
Did you get a name? Just put and legal representation.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever named our lawyers. They're gonna write the letter.
So do you have an acronym for Carly or?
No. KB. KG. I hope her middle name starts with a G. I don't actually know. That would be funny. Thanks, Caitlin. As long as I get
You
one.
better put her.
I was just taking a moment to remember. Don't tell her that.
Okay, does that cover?
I'm gonna text her.
Looks like it should.
And I'm sorry.
Just reading through it again.
Oh, my gosh.
Undo.
Undo.
Control Z.
There you go.
Okay, everybody's clear that, all in favor? It's carried. The delegation we just had, the first delegation was just for information from Mighty Peace Tourism, which was really great. Yep. See where money's being spent. And
I would love to see the statistics around how many hits we actually get on the website for our specific, for our region.
that's the way.
And that would actually determine what is the efficiency of,
Mhm.
or the effectiveness of the donation.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. It's really hard to measure, I mean, hits of the website is one thing, but, we actually attracting people, but that's.
But you know, the website hits, I mean, they would make it specific to the payment to, or specific to our site. That
Oh, I see,
they
sure,
should
yeah.
done.
So the Masqua Medical Center. Big ask using the wrong population, but no matter how, but he clearly said, we know you're not gonna spend that, right? So what, do we want to participate and at what level?
You can afford the letter of support.
Yeah.
Very easily. Before you ask.
Well, it sounds like a huge amount of money that the county and city of Grand Prairie donated, but if you look at what's it, 65,000 people or 60,000 people that's in the city or in the county, either one of the two. That should be $10 million, not $3.5 million, so they're all way under what they should be.
So I see, just for comparison, say Clear Hills County gave 50,000, so say we're to say, well, let's keep up with our neighbors, whatever, where would that come from? I mean, but, we don't have council grants anymore left to do that
You have 17,000 left this year.
for this year.
So next year is wide open, but we are nowhere close in budget for me to be able to answer that question. To be quite honest. Like, unless you want me to say it could be whatever you want it to be, as long as we increase taxes. Yeah, I don't know at this
Yeah,
point. in
well, I
time.
mean, I guess,
We don't have any kind of capital reserve for things like this.
It depends, for things like this,
Not,
No,
I
we
guess
haven't
not.
traditionally invested in healthcare. What's that mean?
yeah, you don't have the things the provincial government should be doing in reserve. Unfortunately.
Did we contribute to the center?
Yeah, we do.
for the clinic, 50,000 in the clinic.
50,000, see, that's what I was saying. So we all contributed something to that. And we do it all the time. You guys want medical.
Pension.
Attention.
I mean, we have, I mean, reserves are not all earmarked for specific things, are they? It's kind of,
Like the intermunicipal projects one kind of work, maybe, I guess. We typically just use that to fund capital projects with the towns that we support. But when not, I mean, you can make a motion and do whatever you want with any of your letters.
so stars. That's what are we, 20,000
20 grand a year for stars, yeah.
for a 3-year agreement, so 50,000, and that's been ongoing for many years. And that comes out of council grants.
We have 17
What did-
left.
You have a few multi-year ones here.
Do you remember what did we start this year with out of council grants? Because we took those multi-year ones out of that
It was like
lump.
48.
So I thought it was like, yeah, okay.
Well, they anticipate completion of this project only by the end of 2026. So that gives us 2 years or a year and a half to, maybe we should. For this year's budget, and maybe we can think of 2026's budget to contribute.
Or,
And just give our letter of support for now,
or,
because we need to buy 5.
well, that or else, I mean, we could do it in stages too, right? We could, say, give them. Sort of like stars almost, I think, until they have a 3-year agreement, we give them 20,000 a year. In this case, we could give them 10,000 a year, or whatever number we would be comfortable with. I mean, they would gladly accept that, I'm sure, that if we could do it over a multi-year. I think it's a worthwhile concept.
I think it is true, Terry, but right now, why don't we just look at the other support and then. Instead of doing, start it next year with money.
Well, I think we should put something on the budget for next year.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that.
I would just maybe recommend waiting till your budget meeting to make that decision.
I was just gonna say that, like, what if we just send them a letter of support and let him know that we're gonna discuss it at our upcoming budget meeting and we'll get back to them then when we know kind of where we're at. Then we're committing that we're going to look at it and see what we're doing, but
See, I think.
I like that idea.
And we're not saying no.
No.
We're not saying yes, but we're open to.
Well, and we're committed to looking at it, right, and making a good effort at it.
I think he's gonna understand that. He specifically said, don't do this in a way that's gonna increase cost to your taxpayers right now. And I'm telling you, I can't give you a number that won't do that right now.
But I think the idea and is great, I mean, if they don't do it, it probably won't get done, and I think this is something that if it gets off the ground and gets going, it'll be just such a good thing for us.
Well, like you said, you'll probably see other areas follow the lead,
Yeah,
Fort McMurray's already looking at it, and then maybe, that's Bridge, and that might look at one. I mean, those places got the big centers already, so they're not, we're a little
but you sort of need that initial push to get everything in place, and once it's there, you know, like, we could all benefit from it, like you said, the emergencies and stuff like that go down because they have these, you know, people, you know, they're not sending them to emergencies for, you know,
Well, if you can get ahead of it, right?
yeah, so. I mean, it is sort of a big, it's an ask, you know, and we shouldn't actually be on our, it shouldn't be on our council, really, it should have been provincial government, but that just isn't going, you know, we're seeing that isn't going, so.
It's getting worse, right?
Yeah, at least if you could, if this goes, it would be just something great.
Yeah, it's all like we haven't invested in healthcare, you know, with the Peace River Clinic, with STARS, with what we're doing in the communities, Peace River, Grimshaw, Manning. It's not. Shouldn't be on us, but unfortunately it is, if, you know, it's just the way it's turned out, so. Okay, so we have a motion that we will send a letter of support and discuss it at the budget meetings. All in favor?
Do we have to put who with CC too?
Yeah, so to the health minister, to the premier, to our NLA, and to Mascot. We don't have to put that on the motion, but go ahead. This will be our voice at the web there, so. Okay, so it's carried. So Dan, do you have any more questions before we? Pardon me? Any more questions before we move on? We have to go back in camera again, right? So we didn't finish our first one. So.
A naive question maybe, but I'm just wondering, is the Municipal Medical Center quite a bit away from your area? Like it's quite.
It's in Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be right beside the new hospital there.
Okay.
So define our area, is our area Northwest Alberta or?
That's fair enough. I guess I'm thinking of I guess it's Sullivan or maybe, but I mean, Grand Prairie is so far away from Banning, not.
Typically, people go there.
Way close.
Not close to
We already have to drive to Peace River to have babies.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going for a preload appointment, another hour and a half, so.
Okay.
You should take them, they should take them to high school, they can take a basketball clinic there.
We drive that far.
Really, on the other side of town,
Yeah.
from the hospital, so that this would work. So,
That was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're going up to the end of our agenda, just we never got finished our last in camera because we ran out of time for delegations, so we're gonna go back in camera and
We're gonna do anything on that. Yeah. Sure, it's the East Shore.
say again,
Are we doing anything for the case?
Mighty Peace Tours?
Yeah.
That's good.
Just for
Just
information.
a presentation.
As of right now, you are a member, so you receive an invoice for a membership every year. Going up from where it is, it costs you over 10 grand a year already.
Motion.
Yeah.
In the motion for the bargaining committee, we're gonna add in there legal representation as part of our.
I don't think we've ever had that promotion.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
No, it's not to me, but you're gonna be there like it or not, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll see you.
That's
Okay, get a motion to go back in camera again. Cameron, all in favor? Carried.